Bags of football around tonight, not least this brilliant Premier League game in prospect between Luton Town and Burnley. There's also games in Championship, League 1, League 2 and the National League. I'll keep you updated with goals as they hit the back of the net, as well as the Champions League, of course, where we have our other live commentary tonight on the network. 8 o'clock kickoff on Talksport, Lens against Arsenal in the Champions League, and Manchester United at home to Galatasaray. That also is an 8 o'clock kickoff, but this one's about to get going in Bedfordshire, and we're running through the teams. Luton Town, Thomas Kaminski in goal. A back three of Ted and Mengi coming in for his first Premier League start tonight. Tom Lockyer and Amari Bell make up the rest of the back three. Issa Kabore, Peli Redikampanzu, Marvellous Nakamba and Alfie Doughty across midfield. Jacob Brown and Chidozie Ogbene in behind Carlton Morris up front. For Burnley, James Trafford is their goalkeeper. A back four of Connor Roberts, Amin Al-Dakil, Jordan Bayer and Charlie Taylor. Sander Berger and Josh Cullen are the holding midfielders. Luca Koleosho, Josh Brownhill and Zeki Amdouni are the three attacking threats in behind. Lyle Foster back in the starting 11 tonight, having served a suspension. Peter Banks is our referee from Lancashire. Issued 12 yellow cards and 1 red when Tottenham played Sheffield United in that game that was won dramatically by Tottenham in the 150th minute or whatever it was. And we, I guess I should be duty-bound to mention that Michael Salisbury's VAR tonight, and Adrian Holmes is his assistant. I'm just putting it out there, Courtney. I'm just letting everybody know.
I think they'll be on high alert somehow.
Oh boy, can you imagine? There can be plenty of... well, you just wonder how busy that VAR room's going to be tonight, or whether they're going to be told to stay well clear. But our teams are ready to go. Both teams in their first choice colours. Luton in their orange shirts and socks with the dark shorts. Luton in the claret shirts with the light blue sleeves, light blue shorts and the claret and blue socks. And it's Luton that will get us underway, and they will be kicking towards the Kenilworth end to our left. We're sat up in the Bobbers stand, which used to be where all the executive boxes were that ran along the touchline, if you know Kenilworth Road. So to our right is the Oak Road end, where the Burnley fans are situated. The main stand opposite us, and the David Priest stand, that strange, slightly diagonal stand that connects the main stand with the Kenilworth end to our left. And as has been regularly the case at Luton, not just in the Premier League era but in recent times, it's a sellout, not a seat to be had. And Sander Berger gets us underway all the way back to James Trafford, and the keeper smacks it against Carlton Morris, and it will drift out of play for a goal kick. James Trafford was fed the ball by Sander Berger from the kickoff. He picked it up about 30 yards out, and he was converged upon by 2 Luton players, including Morris, and that deflection, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, could have gone anywhere, 0-0.
Yeah, it could have. It'll give Luton a lot of confidence in the start. It makes you think of they've been watching the kickoffs. Is it something that Burnley do regularly? Because, as you say, 2 Luton players, including Carlton Morris, bearing down on James Trafford there.
Issa Kabore will let the ball run across his body, the Luton right wing back, right underneath our commentary position. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk almost put a challenge in there as it went out for a throw, because our commentary position is right over the near touchline on the Bobber stand. We're nearer to the Kenilworth end than we are to the Oak Road end, but it's a great vantage point as Luton prepare to take a throw. But I think the ball is not of the best quality, so I think they're being presented with an... Oh no, it's Tom Lockyer who's gone down, just nursing a slight problem with his right arm. He's flexing the fingers in his right hand. I don't know whether he's just been given a dead arm or something, but Tom Lockyer, of course, who's had that horrific moment in the Championship playoff final, ended up in hospital but has since made a full recovery. He's okay, and we're back underway on Talksport 2. A minute and a half gone, 0-0. And on halfway, Peli Redikampanzu wearing a dark grey headband, along with his orange sweatbands on his wrist. Puts the ball out of play for a Burnley throw. Burnley only lost 2 away games all last season in the Championship. One of those was at Watford in the brief spell that Rob Edwards had as manager at Vicarage Road. Of course, he only had 11 games, Rob Edwards, as the Hornets' boss. He watches on as Koleosho receives a ball for Burnley, right-hand side, tucked in field to the middle of the half. Neat touch from Amdouni, out to Charlie Taylor on the left-hand side, the near side to us. Amdouni again looks to dart inside Ted and Mengi. They can't break through on this occasion, Burnley, so they work the ball all the way back to Al-Dakhil on halfway. To his right is Welshman Connor Roberts, floats it down the right-hand side, looking for the run of Sander Berge, but Luton tidy up. 2 minutes gone, 0-0 on Talksport 2.
You can just see how Luton get in the defensive shape so well. There were so many orange shirts there, and as you say, it's so difficult for Burnley to break them down. We know that Burnley like to keep possession, but for me, to get more points within the Premier League, they need to move the ball with more tempo. It looks great and they move it round the back and they keep possession, but I watched them against Forest, and for me, they didn't move the ball quickly enough to open space and move Forest, and it'll be the same with Luton tonight. If they don't move it quick enough, then they're going to struggle to find any gaps.
We'll keep an eye on Burnley's tempo based on what Courtney was saying there. They're playing it around at the back, neat triangles of football. It's worked up forward, but it misses out. Sander Berge, picked up by Lockyer, and now Doughty, left-hand side for Luton, swings across him, volleyed clear by Jordan Bayer. Might break for Amdouni, midway point of his own half. Turned away from one challenge, but then ran straight into Issa Kabore, who wins it back for Luton Town. On this near side, the Luton right, heading towards the Oak Road end, whips a ball in. Carlton Morris across the face of goal, and somehow Benny missed it. Right in front of goal, smacked across the face of goal from the right-hand side by Carlton Morris. Benny flying in, just couldn't connect. Throw in Burnley, 0-0.
It's an unbelievable touch, by the way, from Carlton Morris. The cross from Kabore definitely wasn't meant for him. There was so much on it, but he takes it down so well, and then the ball across in the danger area. You only wish, really, that Carlton Morris was on the end of that, and Benny's doing everything, but just can't get there.
Chidozie Benny's been impressive since getting a starting berth at Luton. He was starting the game as an impact, starting the season rather, as an impact substitute, the former Rotherham man, but he's impressed Rob Edwards enough to get regular starts now. Ball's hit the referee, Peter Banks.
That's the last thing he wanted today, isn't it?
The referees and the officials do not want anything to go wrong. It's just an uncontested drop ball for Burnley as they were trying to come forward, and it hit Peter Banks's right boot. So Josh Brownhill works it back into his own half for Al-Dakhil. Roberts, faced up by Doughty, plays the ball up onto the halfway line. Lyle Foster hits the referee again. I don't believe it. Hit the referee twice in 30 seconds. They're aiming for him, Courtney Sweetman-Kerr. They're aiming for him, 0-0.
He doesn't know where to put his face, does he, Peter Banks? I almost feel sorry for him.
So deja vu. Josh Brownhill has an uncontested drop ball, works it back into his own half. Now a longer ball downfield, looking for Sander Berge. Flicks it infield neatly from midway point of the half, but Lyle Foster had a heavy touch. One back though for Burnley by Josh Cullen, who goes again down the right-hand side, tries to play the cross into the box, but Lockyer comes out to block it out for a throw over on the far side of the field. We've played 5 minutes on Talksport 2 in the Premier League, exclusive to this channel, nowhere else on national radio, and it's not on the telly either. And Burnley have a throw level with the Luton penalty area on that far main stand side. Connor Roberts sends it into the area. Lockyer heads half clear. Heads go up at the edge of the box. It's Sander Berge there again, but Lockyer will just put his foot through it. Scored at Goodison Park on Saturday, gambling as the ball went towards the Everton goal, and as Ashley Young cleared it, in slid Lockyer to ricochet it into the back of the net. And it's gone out for a throw again on that far side for Burnley. Again, Connor Roberts the man to take it into the chest of Lyle Foster. Holds it up well. Sends it back to the halfway line, and then Bayer hits a lovely sweeping ball out to Charlie Taylor. Cuts inside Kabore into the area. Amdouni trying to take it on, but Lockyer just toe pokes it behind for a corner kick to Burnley. First corner of the game, and it's at the Kenilworth end to the visitors, 0-0.
It's brilliant by Tom Lockyer that he does so well. It'd be so easy to give away a penalty here, but he uses his strength, waits for the right moment and just toe pokes it away. But this is when Burnley are good, when they move it quickly with tempo, then they cut Luton open.
So Koleosho takes the short corner, works it back to Roberts, up to about 25 yards out, clips into the area by Taylor, headed out by Mpanzu, and then Jacob Brown tried to hold it up midway point of his own half, then it's just walloped downfield. James Trafford, the Burnley keeper, once again is way out of his 18-yard box, and his long ball downfield bounces a couple of times, and Amari Bell can fire it back downfield for Luton, comes straight back at him, so he heads it in the air. Doughty goes up for a header in the left back position. Koleosho tries to get a foot in. Now Carlton Morris works it back to Issa Kabore, and Luton are moving forward again. 7.5 gone, 0-0 on Talksport 2 in the Premier League. This game was originally scheduled for early August, but Kenilworth Road simply wasn't ready for a Premier League fixture at that point, with the renovations that were being made, including this new commentary gantry that we are sat in this evening, myself and Courtney and our producer Dec. Here's Chidozie Ogbene down the far side of the field, the left-hand side. Hits the ball against two Burnley players, and it goes out of play right by the corner flag for a hatter's throw, which Ogbene is going to leave for Alfie Doughty. 8 gone, 0-0.
He does really well there, Ogbene. Initially, he picks the ball out of the air with a wonderful touch, and then making sure he's working hard to win something for his team in that corner. And we know that Luton employ the long throws as well.
Alfie Doughty, the man who's going to hurl it into the box. Plenty in the 6-yard area in both sets of players. Sander Berger just loitering around the penalty spot because Mpanzu and Nakamba are lurking at the edge of the box in case anything comes their way. And Mpanzu does head it back in towards the 6-yard box. Lockyer tried to help it on. Burnley half clear. Volleyed back into the box by Mpanzu, and it eventually goes all the way through to James Trafford, who can claim it. Just 20 years of age. James Trafford, and Vincent Kompany using his Manchester City connections to bring him to the club for £15 million in July, but he hasn't yet kept a clean sheet in the Premier League. 9 gone, 0-0. Ian Danter and Courtney Sweetman-Kirk with you on Talksport 2. And don't forget that 8 o'clock, in about 20 minutes' time, our other commentary game will get underway over on Talksport in the Champions League. Lens against Arsenal. Sam Matterface and Dean Ashton will be your commentary team. Pelly Rodican just been told by the referee, any more nonsense and you're going to get a booking. I think he was almost delaying a free kick being taken.
Yeah, he needs to be careful, because we know there's such a low tolerance now for that with referees. Last thing he needs is to go into the book this early.
Brownhill takes the free kick, tries to set Foster away. He's at the left-hand corner of the box, taking the defender with him. Works it back to Amdouni. Now, just didn't drop for Amdouni, and Pelly Ruddock loses out. And here's Lyle Foster, works it back to Cullen, then Brownhill. They're trying to keep possession here, Burnley, and work it down this near side towards the left, and then down goes Amdouni, caught by Kabore. Free kick to Burnley, 30 yards out to the left of centre. 0-0 the score.
I'm just waiting for this replay, because I don't know if my eyes have deceived me on the first look. I think Amdouni, what I want to say is, makes the most of that. It's the way he jumps out the challenge. He is caught there, but it's the way that he sort of jumps out of it. It catches him on the edge of the toe, and it's like he's taking his foot off. But I suppose that's modern football, isn't it, Dance?
Speaks someone who's only just retired from the game as a striker. Strikers Union, surely.
I mean, if it was in the box, I'd have done exactly the same.
There you go.
Dance.
Free kick to Burnley, midway point then of the Luton half. 0-0 the score. It's parallel to where the left-hand side of the box runs down towards the dead ball line. Brownhill with his right foot, or Koleosho with his left. That's the option. Luton holding their line right at the edge of the box. 1 or 2 Burnley players standing in an offside position. And we're ready. Brownhill leaves it. Does he for Koleosho? No, they just mix it up between them. Eventually it's delivered to the far post. Headed up and out by Luton, only as far as Roberts. And then an offside flag goes up against the Burnley player. It's a free kick to Luton, 0-0.
Was that off the training ground? Was it meant to be to me, to you? Or did they genuinely get confused? I'm not quite sure.
We used to call that cabbaging when I was playing. They cabbaged it between Koleosho and Brownhill. But eventually the delivery did come in from Josh Brownhill. 0-0 the score. Luton are winless in 6 games against Burnley. Their last win came at Turf Moor back in March 2000. And these two teams haven't met in the top flight of English football since 1974-75. It's a very long time since the two teams clashed at the very top level of English football. Now a foul by Lockyer on Amdouni, who again is just hobbling away to this near touchline after being caught by the Luton number 4. Another free kick to the Clarets, and Amdouni picks himself up very slowly to his feet. And it will be a free kick to Burnley. 0-0 the score, 12 gone.
He does get caught on that one, and I think he tries to keep going. It's one of those on the back of the Achilles, it's quite sore, and to say he tried to keep going, but has to fall to his knees.
He's got the Steve Claridge socks rolled down to his ankles thing, hasn't he?
With the non-existent shin pads.
With the well, if they're the size of 50p pieces, if there's shin pads in there. Back it goes to James Trafford, the Burnley goalkeeper. Just kicks the ball away from Chidozie Ogbeni, who again was herring down to close down the space, and it hurried the clearance from Trafford, so it went straight through to Thomas Kaminski, the Luton keeper. He sends it long down the right hand side. Is it kept in play by Issa Kabore? Not quite. Out of play it goes a Luton, putting out a play for a Burnley throw in their left back position.
I do think that's something Luton are working on. They've not usually pressed high in their games, but they know that James Trafford can be caught.
Now Kaminski's got to head the ball clear outside the area as Koleosho was running through, but Luka Koleosho was in an offside position for Burnley. An American winger, Koleosho, came through the Espanyol youth system, started all the Premier League games since coming in. He's only 19.
I enjoyed watching him a lot against Forest. He gave Montiel an absolute torrid time. He got dragged after, I think it was 56 minutes, so not had much influence in the game so far, but he's definitely an exciting prospect.
Lockyer's free kick for Luton, down the left-hand side of the box, chested down for Carlton Morris. He leaves it for Pelly Kampanzu, urged to shoot, and it snakes wide for a goal kick in the end. Some half-hearted claims that it took a touch off a Burnley boot. Nothing doing, says Peter Banks. And Pelly Kampanzu has Luton's first real shot in anger, if we don't count that ricochet off Carlton Morris after 10 seconds.
Yeah, and you see what he's trying to do in his left-hand side of the box, just trying to bend it into the bottom right-hand corner, but doesn't quite get the right contact on it.
Here's Sander Berge for Burnley as they come forward. He's got options right and left. To his right is Foster. Foster trying to fire it across the face of goal from the right-hand side. Good block by Bell, and then Doughty will just hook it downfield. And the ball bounces inside the Burnley half, but Ogbene can't beat Al-Dakhil to the ball. Where's that going to drop? Drops for Sander Berge again, who arrived in the summer from Courtney Sweet McKirk's old club, Sheffield United. And he might have it again, although Alfie Doughty steps in front of him to win a header bang on halfway. Morris loses out to Jordan Bayer. Luton send the ball downfield, and a good touch from Al-Dakhil on the turn at the edge of his own penalty area, with Ogbene just lurking behind him. Poor ball in field from Koleosho, picked up by Marvellous Nakamba for Luton Town. The Hatters working it out to the left-hand side. 15 gone, 0-0 on Talksport 2. Lockyer with a diagonal ball left to right, seeking out Kabore on this near side, but Charlie Taylor dealt with it well. And now Burnley can counter. Lyle Foster running into the Luton half of the field. Koleosho to his right. Foster goes for goal, but drags it a good 2 or 3 yards wide. And that's a Luton Town goal kick at the Kenilworth end. 0-0 the score.
Yeah, I understand why he takes a shot on there, because the way that Koleosho's running, the Luton defenders are attracted to him, so it does open up, but he's still 22, 25 yards out. It's got to be something really special from there to beat Kaminski.
So a goal kick for the former Blackburn man, Thomas Kaminski, who again hasn't kept a clean sheet since his £2.5 million move from Blackburn. And his goal kick is flicked out of play, and I have to stand up so I can look over the railing here to see Issa Kabore right in front of Vincent Kompany, the Burnley manager, just looking for an option. Kabore. Carlton Morris comes short for Luton, works it infield neatly to Marvellous Nakamba, who's now a permanent addition to the Luton squad, having had a loan spell in the promotion season from Aston Villa. Bell under a bit of pressure from Koleosho, nods the ball back to Kaminski once again. And Union Berlin 2, Braga 3 is the final score in the early Champions League game. A 94th minute winner from Castro for Braga has got them all 3 points. Luton 0, Burnley 0 on Talksport 2. Morris just steps in front of Charlie Taylor to win the ball back. Mengi on halfway hits a very nice diagonal ball, while Benny goes up for a header at the edge of the area, but he was pushing into Connor Roberts, and that's what Peter Banks has blown the whistle for. While Benny disagrees. Free kick to Burnley just inside their own penalty area, 0-0.
I disagree as well. I'm not sure about that one. I think he jumps really well. I just think that gets caught under it, Connor Roberts. I don't see how Ogbene has made the foul there.
Already games underway around the country in the EFL and the National League, and AFC Fylde lead at Barnet, who've conceded 30 goals this season, Fylde, but Danny Whitehead's given them the lead at the Hive. And we'll keep you updated with goals in the National League and the Championship, League 1, League 2. There's some good games tonight. Notts County Swindon really stands out in League 2, first against third. And you've got fourth against third in League 1 with Bolton against Stevenage. Amongst some crackers in the Championship too. I'll let you know what happens everywhere tonight. Lovely crossfield ball from Marvellous Nakamba as Luton try and come forward again. It's knocked into the edge of the area, but Jordan Bayer heads half clear. Heavy touch from Amdouni allows Nakamba to win it back for the hosts. Now Mengi on halfway, clips it down the right hand side looking for Carlton Morris, but that's Charlie Taylor dealing with it and nodding it to this near touch line. Allowed to drift out of play. Quick throw taken. They didn't want to take a long throw into the box that time, Luton Town, and it's with the Hatters captain Lockyer on halfway. To his right is Mengi. Plays the ball into the feet of Jacob Brown, and now Morris. Back it goes to the halfway line, and Tom Lockyer once again, who brings in Kaminski. 19 minutes gone, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, and we've yet to see either keeper tested at 0-0.
Yeah, I think Luton, for me, are growing into this game. They're being less direct at times, using the switch of play really well, but as you say, neither team really looking overly dangerous in either box.
Here's Kolyosho trying to do something about that down the Burnley right, and he's won a corner, although some of those Luton fans directly behind that dead ball line at the Kenilworth end claimed that did not come off Amari Bell last of all. It is a corner to Burnley, but before it's taken, there's going to be some treatment required for Amari Bell, who appears to have come off worse from that challenge. Birmingham City 1, Huddersfield 0 in the Championship. Sekiri Dembele for the Blues, who are struggling a minute. No win in 6 going into that game, and Huddersfield 5 unbeaten now under the management of Big Dave, Darren Moore. There's also games in the Championship tonight at Ipswich, who could go top tonight if they beat Hull City. Middlesbrough, Plymouth, Stoke and West Brom also hosting games. And tomorrow night we have live football for you from the Championship here on Talksport 2. Leicester, who are currently at the summit of the Championship, at home to Preston. It's a 7:45 kickoff. Once again, we'll start at 6 p.m. with Adrian hosting, with also Leipzig against Manchester City as our live game on Talksport tomorrow night in the Champions League. And Reece Burke is coming on for Amari Bell. So Bell is no longer able to continue, and Burke, who was a slight doubt for this game with an injury, has been pressed into service on the 20-minute mark. First substitution made, and he's got a corner to defend, which is floated in by Amdouni into the near post, headed over the bar. Brilliant save by Kaminski. Flying in was Al Dakhil on 6 yards, and a flying save for Kaminski means it's another Burnley corner, but a good chance for the Clarets to take the lead.
Yeah, it really is a fantastic reflex save, and you wouldn't want as the defending team to make the substitution, but that was needs must for Luton, and need to make sure they pick the players up on this one.
Another corner on the right hand side. Brownhill drills it deep to the far post. Connor Roberts heads it back across goal. Morris back defending, volleyed over the top by Josh Cullen, who just couldn't keep it down as it dropped for him about 15 yards out. So it's a Luton Town goal kick in the end. So Burke for Bell. Normally he plays on the right hand side of a 3, but he's going to have to play on the left hand side tonight. That's where Bell's usual position is for Luton Town.
Yeah, and he'll get forward as well. Reece Burke, he likes to get forward. He's got a good strike on him as well. So something a little bit different for Burnley to have to think about.
Former West Ham youth Reece Burke is that early change forced on Rob Edwards. Nakamba for Luton. Chest the ball down for Mpanzu. hooks it over halfway. Might pick up the seconds here and run towards the edge of the area. Hurry clearance by Connor Roberts. Drifts out of play for a throw over on the far side, taken quickly by Alfie Doughty for Luton. It's worked back to halfway, and Mengi. Harrogate 0, AFC Wimbledon 1 in League 2. Omar Bagil for Wimbledon, who are 3 unbeaten, got their first home win of the season at Plough Lane, in the league at least, on Saturday. Jacob Brown wins the ball inside the Burnley box, works it right for Issa Kabore. He's won a throw off Charlie Taylor. Ipswich 1, Hull 0. Wes Burns for Ipswich, looking to go top of the table tonight, 7 unbeaten going into this one against a very good Hull City side. And that's the division that both Luton and Burnley exited last year, the Championship. 0-0, midway point of the first half on Talksport 2. Eastleigh 0, Ebbsfleet 1 in the National League. Long ball downfield by Kaminsky, the Luton keeper. Bayer let the ball bounce. Not the most convincing header clear, but Charlie Taylor will work it beyond the halfway line. Lockyer will keep it in, or will actually just let it run out of play right underneath our commentary position. Throws it back in for his goalkeeper, Kaminsky.
So a couple of times that's happened now with the long ball for Burnley. Just getting caught under it, not meeting it as quickly as I think probably Vincent Kompany would want.
Here's Issa Kabore for Luton Town. Down the near side to us, the right-hand side, with Luton attacking the Oak Road end. Away to our right in this first half. Nicky Cadden's given Barnsley the lead at Cambridge. 1-0 in League 1 to the Tykes. Kabore again, down the Luton right. Got support from Jacob Brown. Thinks about sending a cross into the box. Drives for the byline. Whips the ball deep to the far post beyond Chidozie Ogbeni, but Pelly Rodakampanza will keep it in play. Down by the corner flag. Good ball into the area. Almost found Doughty, but that was good, smart defending by Connor Roberts. He was wise to it. Stepped in front of Doughty. Got the ball clear. Got the foul. Free kick to Burnley. 24 gone, 0-0 on Talksport 2.
Yeah, it's a shame that is, because I think Pelly Rodakampanza does so well there to keep the ball in, and that cute little ball between the defenders to the third man run of Doughty, but he just gets caught there really in terms of a bit of cleverness from the defender. No need to make the foul in there.
Sam Hoskins gets his 5th goal of the season as Northampton take the lead against Reading in League 1. Haven't won at home in the last 4, Northampton, but they're ahead in that encounter. No goals here at Kenilworth Road just yet on Talksport 2, but here come Luton again. Ogbene trying to use his pace to get in behind Connor Roberts, but he hooks it back to Trafford, and the keeper gets it downfield. Awkward attempted clearance by Kabore allows Amdouni to pick up possession, and he skips past Kabore, running into the area, left hand side. Amdouni trying to get the ball onto his right, will find a teammate. Eventually he does find Brownhill, gives it back to Amdouni, and now Charlie Taylor joins in, level with the edge of the area, left hand side for Burnley. It's worked back 10 yards for Charlie Taylor, who puts it in field for Josh Cullen. Cullen now looking once again for Zeki Amdouni, but he can't get past Jacob Brown. He's just caught as he got the ball clear, and it's out of play, and now Jacob Brown needs a bit of treatment down beneath us. But Zeki Amdouni, very dangerous down that left-hand side for Burnley there, 0-0.
Yeah, Nizza, I think Luton get lucky. Initially Kabore, it's poor from him, 1v1 defending. He's got to do better, but then Menge backs off, and I think Amdouni, I don't know if he actually looked up, because I think if he looks up he's probably going to realise he's got a lot of space and he can unleash the shot, but keeps driving, and that allows Luton to get back and get into shape and be able to shepherd him back out. But I think that was really poor 1v1 defending from Kabore.
Talksport breakfast back at 6 in the morning tomorrow. Sam Matterface is going to be hosting with Gabby Agbonlahor, former Aston Villa striker, alongside him, and Nobby Solano is going to be amongst their guests, with Newcastle hosting Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League tomorrow night. What a night in store on Tyneside. And Nobby Solano will be joining them, as well as Graham Swan with the Cricket World Cup just around the corner, and Dwight York will reflect on Manchester United and how they get on tonight with their home game against Galatasaray. Updates of that match over on Talksport this evening. Now a throw for Burnley, level with the Luton penalty area, down the left-hand side. Kolyosha's come short, hurled into the near post, but over the head of Bayer. Carlton Morris clears. Connor Roberts, who's out on this left-hand side, having taken that throw, tries to get the better of Nakamba, Nakamba's clearance ricochets into the path of Sanderberger. Bayer lays it off to Josh Brownhill. Brownhill goes for goal, only just over, ripples the roof of the net on its way over the bar. Just didn't dip in time for Josh Brownhill, but a good effort all the same. 27 gone, Luton 0, Burnley 0.
Yeah, it was, for all their sort of nice work that Burnley do playing through the thirds. It's just someone taking an opportunity. Brownhill on the edge of the box there, and I think the Burnley fans to our right thought that was in. There was some ironic jeers then from the Luton fans, but it's a real good effort, and as you say, it's probably half a yard, and that's right in the top right-hand corner.
Josh Brownhill, a very important cog in Vincent Kompany's machine. He has scored in the Premier League this season at Tottenham. Joined a few years ago from Bristol City, nearing 150 appearances. Notts County lead Swindon in that big game in League 2 tonight. First against third, David McGoldrick with the opener at Meadow Lane. And Leyton Orient lead Lincoln City up in League 1 by a goal to nil. Joe Pigott, former Wimbledon striker, with the opener at Brisbane Road. 0-0 at Kenilworth Road as we're nearing the half-hour point here on Talksport 2 between these two promoted sides. Luton with their first Premier League win under their belt. Luton and Burnley looking for their first three-point haul. Here's Charlie Taylor for the Clarets. Knocks it in field to Brownhill, centre of the Luton half. Back out for the Burnley left-back Taylor, who can't get past Kabore, so it's worked back to the halfway line. Al-Dakhil rolls it to his right for Connor Roberts, who was closed down by Doughty. Still managed to get the ball out to the right wing, and Luca Koleosho brings it in field. Amdouni lets the ball run across his body, skips away from Mengi, gets the shot away but lifts it over the crossbar. Great approach play from Zeki Amdouni. A drop of the shoulder to get away from his man, but the shot fired well over the bar in the end. Goal kick to Luton, but Burnley are asking a few more questions here at 0-0.
Yeah, they are, and it's Mengi here again that gets caught. Initially, the moment I spoke about a couple of minutes ago, he doesn't come. This one, he rushes out far too quick. Still, there's a lot to do for Amdouni. He does really well, drops his shoulder, lets the ball come across, but at that point, he's got to do better in terms of at least getting a shot on target, but applauded by Vincent Kompany down to our right.
0-0 it remains on Talksport 2. Ball drops on halfway. Burnley have it again with Brownhill, who's setting Lyle Foster away down the left wing. Early ball in field. It will break for Koleosho. Burke didn't get the clearance he wanted on it. Now Sanderberger lays it off to Connor Roberts. Burnley now trying to keep possession and hem Luton Town in. Taylor on this near side, the left for Burnley. Forced back once more by Kabore to the halfway line.
You just feel that Burnley are settling into the game now. I think the Luton fans can feel that as well, trying to get behind their team.
Well, Amdouni just found bags of space to pick up a pass in the centre circle, and it's gone out to the Burnley left and Charlie Taylor once more. Kabore facing him up, goes in field to Amdouni. Heavy touch allowed Nakamba to get it half clear, but Berger picks up the loose ball once again for the Clarets. Taylor and Brownhill trying to combine, but that's a weak pass from Brownhill, picked off by the Luton backline, and Mengi sends it back to Kaminski. Lockyer, the Luton captain, finds Mengi once again, and Luton aren't really playing quite the neat triangles of passing to get themselves out of their own 18-yard box, but they do all the same, and they've won a free kick as Jacob Brown is being pushed by Charlie Taylor on halfway. Half an hour gone on Talksport 2. It is Luton Town 0, Burnley 0. Ian Dancer and Courtney Sweetman-Kirk with you this Tuesday night. Headed on from Alfie Doughty to Carlton Morris. Brings the ball down at the edge of the air. They try to give the ball back to Alfie Doughty. Half cleared by Burnley, but it breaks on the halfway line for Tom Lockyer. Lockyer with a diagonal ball out to the left-hand side, asking a lot of Chidozie Ogbene. He won't keep that in play. It's out for a goal kick. Isaac Olafe scores again for Stockport County. I think that's 5 in 3 for the Stockport striker, as the other Hatters take the lead in League 2, heading for 5 straight wins. And big game at the Tough Sheet Community Stadium. I have to be careful how I say that. Bolton 1, Stevenage 0. Dion Charles with a penalty for Bolton Wanderers. That's his 7th of the season. Now here's Chidozie Ogbene powering forward for Luton Town at 0-0. Doughty calling for it on the left wing on the far side. Has it now, level with the edge of the Burnley box. Faced up by Roberts. Clips the ball up to the far post. It might drop for Kabore. Just flicked away from him. But Kabore will have it back. Right-hand corner of the box. Good ball back into the area. Headed wide by Ogbene. Flying header on 6 yards. Just couldn't get it on target. But more encouragement for the home fans. 13 to the break. And that's probably Luton's best chance. 0-0.
He does everything, doesn't he, there, Ogbene? It's a good ball in. And he's trying to do the right thing. Put it back across to the right-hand side of the goal where the ball's come from. But I think the defender there does just about enough. But let's give Peter Banks some credit there, because in the build-up he plays the advantage. He doesn't stop it for the free kick. So let's maybe give the referees some praise too.
It's currently Luton 0, Burnley 0. And for the latest odds, head to William Hill, the official betting partner of Talksport 2's Premier League coverage, where right now you can back Luton to win at 11 to 5, the draw 13 to 8, and you can even back Burnley to win at the same price at 13 to 8. As the ball's flicked wide by Jacob Brown, well wide of the post of the Emperor goal kick. Those odds are all thanks to William Hill. Get epic value all season with William Hill. It's 18 plus, don't forget, and begambleaware.org is the website that you need. Oxford have the lead against Shrewsbury Town in League One. Second at the start of the night, Oxford, with 3 straight wins in the league, and Mark Harris has scored his 4th of the season to put the U's in front. You're listening to Luton 0, Burnley 0 on Talksport 2 with Now. Don't forget that with Now you can stream the Premier League live without a contract from $11.99. Search Now Sports. 18 plus. Stream via the internet. Terms apply. Burnley have the ball down their left-hand side, but Josh Cullen can't keep the ball in play, so it ends up being a Luton Town throw. So we've seen a little to and fro in these last 5 minutes. Courtney Sweetman Cup. We have those couple of chances for Burnley, and then Luton have just had a couple of shies at goal.
Yeah, I thought that was the moment potentially in the game where Burnley were really going to turn the screw and keep putting Luton under pressure, but Luton responded to the calls of the fans. Alfie Doughty as well, doing really well on that left-hand side. He's creating chances. He's done that all season so far for Luton. He's got great delivery from that left-hand side, but I think Ogbene was the best chance, wasn't it? Just couldn't quite direct it on target.
Eastleigh 1, Ebbsfleet 1 in the National League. Eastleigh equalised at the Silver Lake. Cheltenham 0, Fleetwood 1. They still can't score, Cheltenham, and they're behind. That's the battle of the bottom 2 in League 1. Junior Quatina with the opener for Lee Morris's men. Here come Luton at 0-0 with 10 minutes to half-time. Reece Burke up to the left-hand corner of the box. Ogbene trying to make space for a shot. Lays it off to Pelly Rurakampansu. He tried a shot at goal, blocked by Josh Cullen. Nakamba retrieves it for the hosts. Back out to the left-hand side, and Alfie Doughty just clips it down the left-hand side for Ogbene, who's onside, gets to the byline, pulls it back. Strong header clear for Burnley by Bayer. Headed back by Luton into the possession of Ted and Mengi on halfway. Lovely diagonal ball to pick out Doughty, who keeps the ball in play. Tried to hook it in field first time for Ogbene, but Ogbene hadn't read the idea. And then a really strong sliding challenge by Jacob Brown gets him a yellow card. Poor challenge. I think that was on Josh Cullen, and that's a yellow card for Jacob Brown of Luton Town. 10 to the break, 0-0.
Yeah, it's really poor. He goes absolutely flying in, and I know as a forward, when you're trying to close the defenders down, you want to try and get there as quick as possible, but I think Jacob Brown's quite lucky there, because I think if he makes more of a connection, he could have been seeing a card of a different colour.
That reminds me of a guy I used to sit with at Birmingham. When somebody used to say late tackle, he always just said, he got there as soon as he could. The referee never takes that into consideration, do they? Long ball downfield from James Trafford for Burnley, but Kabore tidies up for Luton. Pelly Rurakampansu is being manhandled in the centre circle by Josh Cullen, and the free kick taken quickly by Nakamba. Down the Luton left, it's Chidozie Ogbene taking on Koleosho, whips the ball in. It's just over the head of Carlton Morrison, claimed by James Trafford in his 6-yard box, and the Burnley keeper quickly sends the ball downfield, asking Lyle Foster to give chase. He brings it down, but he's got no support at the moment as he's level with the edge of the Luton area. Works it back in field to Josh Brownhill. Early ball out to the Burnley right, and Koleosho One-on-one with Alfie Doughty, gets infield to the right-hand corner of the box, tries to wrap his left foot round it, and you can hear from the Luton fans where that ended up. Rose Ed. Goal kick, 0-0.
Yeah, Burnley just look a bit flustered. They had that period where for 5-7 minutes they looked really good, really composed on the ball, felt like they were going to maybe score, and now the game's totally turned on its head. Luton, for me, really look in control and look the more likely before the half-time whistle.
That's the voice of Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, former Liverpool and Sheffield United women's striker. Alongside me, Ian Dante here at Kenilworth Road. With 8 minutes to half-time, Portsmouth, 21 games unbeaten going back into last season, are behind at Fratton Park in League One to Wycombe Wanderers. Josh Scowen, former QPR man, has given the Chairboys the lead. Another free kick given quickly for Luton Town, and they get things back underway down the left-hand side with Reece Burke on as a first-half substitute for the injured Amari Bell. Now Lockyer, the Luton captain, on the halfway line, strokes it right for Ted Mengi, who lifts it down the right-hand side for Jacob Brown. Clashes with Charlie Taylor, but Charlie Taylor did well. Good strength from the Burnley left-back. But his clearance downfield only found Kabore, and Dooney strongly onto the loose ball. Works it up to the halfway line, but Koleosho gets no change out of Reece Burke. And it's a Burnley throw just over the halfway line on the far side of the field, with Burnley attacking the Kenilworth end in this first half. On Talksport 2, it's 0-0.
Yeah, I thought Reece Burke did really well there. And when I saw Koleosho against Forest, he was playing on his favoured left foot out on the left-hand side. I just wonder, I know why managers like to play players inverted. They want him to cut in and try and shoot, but Koleosho really has not made any impact on this game so far.
Not the player you saw at the Nottingham Forest game, let's just say, at this point.
Definitely not, and you've got to give credit to Luton for that, but I do think this left-hand side is where the issues have stemmed for Luton. So if you get him out here and get him to go round players and get balls in the box, they might be slightly better served, Burnley. Charlton
0, Exeter City 1 in League One. Exeter have lost 3 out of their last 4. In fact, they're only winning that run was against Luton Town a week ago in the EFL Cup, but James Scott has given Exeter the lead at the Valley. Here at Kenilworth Road, we've got just over 5.5 minutes plus added time to half-time, and there's a Burnley player gone down off the ball. Is it Koleosho? He's gone down holding the back of his head after a bit of a set two over on the far side of the field. It's Connor Roberts, in actual fact, who's gone down. And the referee, Peter Banks, has some sorting out to do here.
Absolutely ridiculous this is. It's because it's a Luton throw, and I think Roberts picks it up. The Luton, I don't know who it was, but the Luton player's basically trying to snatch the ball off him. It looks like it's Alfie Doughty, and he's giggling because he's thinking, this is ridiculous. Goes down like he's been whacked round the head with a baseball bat.
It may just be a quiet word. I think the referee's saying, any more and you're getting a booking. He's almost made the booking sign without having the yellow card. In fact, he's just pointed to his temple, looking at Alfie Doughty and just saying, think. Bolton 1, Stevenage 1. It's a big game in League One tonight, and Jamie Reid has equalised, getting his 7th goal of the season. And Birmingham 2, Huddersfield 0. Koji Miyoshi, Japanese international, with the 2nd. Jacob Brown for Luton at the edge of the area, can't turn and get the shot away, and he was offside anyway. Goals flying in tonight. Bristol Rovers have just taken the lead in League One against Port Vale. Luke McCormick and Tranmere, troubled Tranmere, 2nd from bottom in League 2, are 1-0 up against Bradford City. Regan Hendry for the side from the Wirral. So offside gives Burnley a free kick at the edge of their own penalty area, to be hoofed downfield by James Trafford. A few whistles suggest he's delaying the kick a bit too long for the home fans' liking. Luton trying to win it back on halfway. Morris trying to get involved with Charlie Taylor, but Taylor does really well to work it in field. Then Amdouni's dispossessed by Kabore, working really hard down the right hand side. Then Amdouni's brought down. I think it was Jacob Brown that caught him. And Brown's got to be careful. He's on that yellow card. Free kick to Burnley just inside the Luton half, 0-0.
Yeah, he has. There's a couple of really good challenges in there, full-blooded, but then I think Kabore, it's just silly more than anything. He's so eager to win the ball back, he takes half the player with him.
You're listening to Luton 0, Burnley 0 on Talksport 2 with Now. Don't forget that with Now you can stream the Premier League live without a contract from £11.99. Search Now Sports 18 plus, streamed via the internet. Terms apply. Morris for Luton, looking for Ogbene, who's popped up on the right wing for the moment for the Hatters, but Burnley win it back. And here's Zeki Amdouni carrying the ball over the halfway line, works it into the middle of the half, trying to stroke it out to the right hand corner of the box for Koleosho. Alfie Doughty intercepts, look for Kabore, overhit the pass, and it's gone straight out beneath our commentary position for a Burnley throw. 2.5 minutes of normal time to go in this first period on Talksport 2 in the Premier League. Two promoted sides going head to head here. Back it goes to the Burnley keeper, James Trafford. Good ball into the centre circle to pick out Sander Berge, can turn and run into the Luton half unchallenged, gets up towards the edge of the area, plays it right for Luca Koleosho. Koleosho back for Brownhill at the edge of the area. It's difficult for him to control. He tried to flick it back in the general direction of Charlie Taylor, but he lost out. Now Jacob Brown loses possession and Burnley have it back. Koleosho going on the outside of Doughty, gets to the byline, right-footed ball in, and it's touched behind by Kabore for Burnley's fourth corner of this half as we move into the last 2 minutes of the first period. 0-0 the score.
Yeah, and I think that Kabore does well there because Amdouni is bearing down, isn't he? He has to get the contact there to take it away from him.
So a corner on this near side where the bobbin stand meets the Kenilworth end to our left. Josh Brownhill standing over it. Koleosho there for a short corner, a packed 6-yard box. In it comes from Brownhill, headed up and out by Carlton Morris. Back defending for Luton. It might work its way back out for Burnley. It does to Brownhill across the face of goal. Oh, Amdouni slid in and couldn't take the touch, and Luton will bring it clear through Lockyer. Chance for Amdouni, but as he slid in to try and connect, well, the slip actually stopped him getting the shot away, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk.
Yeah, did it be interesting as well, because I think it's hit his hand as he slipped as well, so if he was to get another connection on it, I think it might have been ruled out.
Here's Brownhill having a go from distance, and it's well wide. It's a goal kick for Luton Town in the end, but Zeki Amdouni was perfectly placed for a pullback from Josh Brownhill, but just couldn't keep his footing as it worked onto his left foot, and eventually Luton managed to smuggle the ball clear. Edging towards half-time on Talksport 2, it's 0-0. Doncaster lead against Crawley. They had 3 straight wins, but Mo Fall, who scored at the weekend on loan from West Brom, I think Mo Fall, has given Doncaster the lead. And over on Talksport, Arsenal lead in France. Lens 0, Arsenal 1. Gabriel Jesus just shy of the quarter-hour mark for the Gunners. Sam Matterface and Dean Ashton, your commentary team for that game over on Talksport. But here on Talksport 2, we've moved into added time. 3 minutes of minimum stoppage time here at Kenilworth Road at the end of a first half that's seen the game sway to and fro. Both sides will feel they've had periods of good pressure that they've not capitalised on, because it's still goalless, Courtney.
No, neither have had a real clear-cut opportunity. Probably the closest is that Ogbene chance, I think it's Carlton Morris, isn't it, that fizzes it across the box. Obviously the long-range one from Brownhill, but that's a lot more difficult. I think, you know, both teams will be happy to go in at 0-0 at half-time, and yeah, neither team deserves really to be in front at this moment.
Ball headed clear for Burnley by Charlie Taylor, but Amdouni on the turn couldn't get the ball away on halfway, so back it goes to Thomas Kaminski, and the Luton keeper just smacks it downfield, but it will bounce twice and through to James Trafford. West Brom 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. John Swift puts West Brom in front. They are 4 unbeaten going into tonight. Sander Berge trying to play Lyle Foster through. Foster's in behind Lockyer and slips it into the back of the net, and the South African back in the side to net after suspension has put Burnley ahead right on half-time. Maybe this is the night when Burnley get their first 3-point haul. Sander Berge with the through ball. Foster in behind Lockyer, kept his feet just inside the area, rolled it low past Kaminski. Right on half-time, it's Luton 0, Burnley 1.
This has happened a few times, hasn't it? Sander Berge finding so much space in the middle of the park but not being able to pick the pass, but this time he finds Foster really well. It's perfectly weighted. Lockyer is in all different shapes. His body shape is absolutely terrible. Foster takes advantage. Good touch across Lockyer, and then he's got the calmness and the composure to slot it past Kaminski.
Sent off at Nottingham Forest, Lyle Foster served his ban, he's back, and that's his third Premier League goal for Lyle Foster. But more importantly for Vincent Kompany, it gives him a chance to get his team in at the break, 1-0 up. We've played 2.5 minutes of the minimum 3 that have been added on. Push by Carlton Morris. At least I saw it was a push on Jordan Bayer. It's going to end up being a goal kick to Burnley away to our right. Manchester United lead Galatasaray in the Champions League. Rasmus Højlund at Old Trafford. Southend United, who appear to have been saved today by a consortium taking the club over, lead Oxford City in the National League through Harry Cardwell, and Crewe lead Gillingham. That's 7th against 4th in League 2. 4 unbeaten Crewe, and Conor O'Riordan has given them the lead at the Alexandra Stadium. It's the Burnley fans you can hear to our right hand side at the Oak Road end, saluting their players. We've played the minimum 3 minutes. There'll be a few more seconds to add on because of the goal celebrations, but Vincent Kompany will be hoping they're going ahead, but a back pass almost played James Trafford into trouble, with Ogbeni closing him down, but he cleared it over the gantry we're sat in. That's got into somebody's back garden, and I'm not joking. Throw in with a spare ball.
Someone will be really happy when they wake up.
Oh yeah, like Christmas Day. Here's Reece Burke for Luton, playing it down the left-hand side of the Burnley box. Ogbene should keep it and play down by the corner flag, and does. Tries to work it back down the line for Doughty. Ball's cleared downfield, and back it goes to Thomas Kaminski, and there can't be long left. And in fact, there indeed does go the whistle for half-time, and Vincent Kompany strides across the turf here at Kenilworth Road to head back to the dressing room, dressed in his smart casual get-up, and he's looking quite casual because his team are ahead at the break against Luton Town, courtesy of a late first half goal from Lyle Foster, his third of the season. Sander Berger's through ball from the halfway line, with Foster in behind Tom Lockyer to slip it past Kaminski at the Kenilworth end. They had a couple of other chances. Josh Brownhill had gone close with a right-footed effort that just clipped the roof of the net. At the other end for Luton, Ogbene with a flying header just wide. But work to do for Rob Edwards and Luton as they try and work their way back into this match, because of the two promoted sides. It's the Clarets ahead at half-time. Luton 0, Burnley 1, Courtney Sweetman Kirk.
Yeah, and I think it's, you know, we always say it about those moments around at the start of the game, the end of the halves, and you know, it's difficult. It's a sucker punch for Luton, because I say, you know, on the 45-minute mark, I don't think either team really deserved to be in front. I think 0-0 was a fair scoreline, but there were so many times where Sander Berg was dropping into the middle of the park, and whether it be from one of the centre halves or Trafford finding him straight away, was getting on the half turn. There's so many times you can let a player of that quality have that long on the ball, and this time Luton were made to play. It's a wonderful ball through to him in terms of the weight through to Foster, and then he does ever so well. I think that the touch across is really good, because he knows if Lockyer brings him down at that point it's a penalty. Then he's calm and composed and puts it past Kaminski. But as I say as well, I said it in commentary, the body shape from Tom Lockyer was absolutely awful. He had his back to the ball at one point, and yeah, terrible from him really.
But Lyle Foster kept his head, kept his feet, slipped it past the Luton Town goalkeeper, and the Clarets are ahead at the break. Napoli have just taken the lead against Real Madrid in the Champions League. Leo Ostigard for Napoli. Notts County just gone 2-0 up on Swindon in that big game at the top of League 2. Macaulay Langstaff from the penalty spot. That's his 8th of the season. Stockport 2, Forest Green 0 elsewhere in League 2. Anthony Sarcevic puts Stockport further clear at Edgeley Park. And Cambridge 0, Barnsley 2 back in League 1. Mael de Givigny with a second for the Tykes at the Abbey. I'll give you a full rundown of the latest scores in a few short moments' time. But at the break here at Kenilworth Road, the half-time score in the Premier League is Luton Town 0, Burnley 1.
The Premier League live on Talksport 2 with Now. Stream the Premier League live without a contract from $11.99. Search Now Sports. 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
The Monopoly game is back at McDonald's. And guess what? It's still twice as nice. Because with double peel, you can peel on pack, then peel again on the McDonald's app to win prizes like brand new mini electrics, lovely McDonald's food, HBO and gaming laptops, TUI holiday vouchers, £1,000 in cash, plus tons of other incredible prizes. 18 plus, UK only. Selected items, subject to serving times and availability. End 17th of October. Gameplay and price claims may require McDonald's app. See mcdrules.co.uk.
With the transfer window closed, it's now properly game on. Get the ultimate football coverage with the Sun's free pull-out goals. With the best writers pitchside for in-depth match reports, it's all about goals. And with unrivaled news from the Premier League to League Two, it has to be goals. Stay up to date on all the latest football action. Get your free copy of Goals every Saturday, Sunday and Monday only in the Sun.
Don't miss out on the Mega Screwfix app giveaway where you could win a year's free shopping at Screwfix. There's also thousands of other prizes to be won, and every time you order on the app in October, you'll be entered. So you may find when you order some workwear, you might also get a holiday voucher, or ordering a toolbox might get you an Xbox. The Mega Screwfix app giveaway. Prizes are drawn every Monday. Download and order now. For full T's and C's, visit screwfix.com.
Friend, bag yourself some Sainsbury's, One Stop, Asda, Co-op, Iceland on Just Eat. For your hostess with the mostest self, barbecue chef self. I can't believe I forgot that self. Help yourselves to some alfresco brunchy bits, summer salad stuffs, snackety snacks. Get your groceries delivered pronto quick shop now. Delivered for free. Groceries, we got it.
Did somebody say Just Eat?
Participating stores only. Subject to availability and store opening times. Minimum spend applies. Service charges and other charges apply. See justeat.co.uk for more details.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Watching the big game cozied up in the snug.
Another 7-0 win!
Balmy summer nights with the kids playing on the lawn.
We're playing real-life football!
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of June 2022 and 30th of September 2022 is under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
Rodri to De Bruyne, flicked onto Walker. Goal! No one saw that coming.
Or as we say in Japan, no waru taka wa tsume o kakusu. The smart hawk hides its talents. For taste beyond expected, Asahi Super Dry, official beer partners of Manchester City. Enjoy responsibly. Visit drinkaware.co.uk.
On DAB+, online, via the Talksport app and on your smart speaker. Live Premier League on Talksport 2.
Corner to defend, which is floated in by Amdouni into the near post, headed over the bar. Brilliant save by Kaminski. Flying in was Al Dakhil on 6 yards. The canvas clearance ricochets into the path of Sanderberger. Bayer lays it off to Josh Brownhill. Brownhill goes for goal, only just over, ripples the roof of the net on its way over the bar, just didn't dip in time. Right hand corner of the box, good ball back into the area, headed wide by Alfeni. Flying header on 6 yards, just couldn't get it on target. But more encouragement for the home fans. 13 to the break. Sanderberger trying to play Lyle Foster through. Foster's in behind Lockyer and slips it into the back of the net. And the South African back in the side to net after suspension has put Burnley ahead right on half-time. That's the scoreline here at Kenilworth Road, live on Talksport 2 in our exclusive commentary tonight. Ian Danter and Courtney Sweetman-Kirk with you at Kenilworth Road. Luton 0, Burnley 1. Let me update you on the scores elsewhere as games either tick around to half-time or around half an hour in the Champions League. There have been a couple of goals in the Champions League matches affecting English sides, and Lens over on Talksport have just equalised against Arsenal. Adrian Thomason making it 1-1. And would you believe it, Wilfried Zaha, former Manchester United player, has equalised at Old Trafford for Galatasaray. After Hoyland's opener, Manchester United 1, Galatasaray 1. Elsewhere in the Champions League tonight, FC Copenhagen 0, Bayern Munich 0 in Manchester United's group. Elsewhere in Arsenal's group, it's still PSV Eindhoven 0, Sevilla 0, but these games are round about half an hour old. In Group C, Braga beat Union Berlin in the tea time kickoff 3-2. Napoli 1-0 upon Real Madrid. Ostigar with a goal there. Real Sociedad won 2-0 at Salzburg at tea time in Group D. Inter and Benfica are at 0-0 at the moment. In the Championship, these games approaching half-time. Latest scores: Birmingham 2, Huddersfield 0. Ipswich 1, Hull 0. That stays like that. Ipswich go top tonight with Leicester playing Preston tomorrow night live here on your home of the EFL, Talksport 2. Middlesbrough 0, Cardiff 0. Plymouth 0, Millwall 0. Stoke 0, Southampton 0. Nathan Jones derby in a way. And West Brom 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Latest scores in League One. Again, these are all approaching half-time by and large. Blackpool 0, Derby 0. Bolton 1, Stevenage 1. Bristol Rovers 1, Port Vale 0. Burton 0, Wigan 0. Cambridge 0, Barnsley 2. Carlisle 0, Peterborough 0. Charlton 0, Exeter 1. Cheltenham 0, Fleetwood 1. Leyton Orient 1, Lincoln 0. Northampton 2, Reading 0. Oxford 1, Shrewsbury 0. And Portsmouth 0, Wickham 1. League 2 latest scores at the end of the first half. Crewe 1, Gillingham 0. Doncaster 1, Crawley 0. Grimsby 1, Barrow 0. Harrogate 0, Wimbledon 1. Mansfield 0, Wrexham 0. Morecambe 0, Accrington 0. Newport 1, Colchester 1. Notts County 3, Swindon 0. Dan Crowley with the third that's just gone in there for County at Meadow Lane. Stockport County 2, Forest Green 0. Sutton 0, Salford 0. Tranmere 1, Bradford 0. And Walsall 0, Milton Keynes 0. And in the National League, latest scores in the first half: Altrincham 1, Aldershot 0. Barnet 0, Fylde 1. Chesterfield 0, Bromley 0. Dagenham, Redbridge 0, York 0. Dorking 0, Kidderminster 1. Kidderminster bottom of the table. Eastleigh 2, Ebbsfleet 1. Gateshead 0, Wealdstone 0. Oldham 1, Maidenhead 0. Solihull 0, Rochdale 0. Southend 2, Oxford 0. Southend announcing a fresh takeover of the club this afternoon to save the Shrimpers. And Woking 0, FC Halifax Town 0. And Ipswich have just doubled their lead at home to Hull City. Connor Chaplin with the second for Ipswich. So the score there 2-0 at Portman Road. So you're up to date with all the scores elsewhere. Now the Premier League has released the audio this afternoon of the moment when the VAR wrongly disallowed Luis Diaz's goal last weekend. It was offside that was the call on field by the officials, but the call was not dealt with properly by the referee, VAR referee Darren England, and his assistant Dan Cook, and they've been stood down from duty as a consequence of the error. And let's hear that conversation right now.
Oh good, both holding. Both holding.
Yeah. Leave it alone.
Waiting, delaying.
Yes. Give it.
Coming back for the offside, mate.
Just checking the offside delay. Give me kick point, let's go.
Yep.
Kick point,
yeah,
please.
No worries,
so here we are.
Wait, okay.
Just get a tight angle.
Yeah, give me 2D line ready as well for frame 2 after that. That's fine.
Frame 2 there.
Perfect.
I've got the time on this.
2D line on left boot.
Yep. Let me just switch angles. I think it might be this angle better.
Hey.
Happy with this angle?
You organise, you don't.
Yep. 2D line on the boot.
2D line on the boot.
Yep. Okay.
Wait, no, wait.
So 2D line on the boot.
And stop. Check complete. Check complete. It's fine. Perfect.
Yeah. Off.
Thank you, mate.
Wait. On-field decision was offside. Are you happy with this?
Yeah.
Are you happy with this?
Offside goal. Yeah.
That's
what it does.
What?
On-field decision was offside. Are you happy with this image? Yes, onside. The image we gave is onside.
Left back.
He's gone offside.
Delay. Ollie's saying to delay. Ollie's saying to delay.
Red throw.
Pardon?
Ollie's calling in to say delay the game. To complete the decision is offside.
Can't do anything.
Ollie's saying to delay.
Ollie?
Yeah.
Delay the game. To delay the game. Stop the game.
They've restarted the game.
From on the field.
They've restarted. Yeah.
Can't do anything.
No.
I can't do anything.
Well, there you go. Confusion reigns in the VAR room and on the touchline at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And so the officials in the VAR room have been stood down from duties. And I just wonder, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, what happens the next time those two individuals take charge of a football match again, because now this is in the public domain. The mistake is now going to be played. How many times? I've heard it 3 times now. This is going to be heard countless times again. And well, my feelings on VAR have been fairly clear from the it's adding another layer of subjectivity onto the subjectivity of referees making decisions. I've always accept the referee's decision, even whether it's wrong or right. I worry for the state of the game. That just sounded almost robotic when you actually hear the process. Do you know what I mean? It's almost it's not a science, football. It's not a science.
What I find weird is why have the PGMOL released it, because before they've been very secretive and they've done it in fits and starts, or on the television, and explained it when it suits them. But I think that releasing that audio will cause them more problems than it'll give sympathy. It won't give any sympathy to the referees and people. I think previously, as I say, when it's gone out on television, it's been explained. I think there's been a certain amount of sympathy and people can sort of understand it, but I think that will cause more harm than good in that sense.
Do you think there's anything in the fact that they released that audio late in the afternoon, just before a big night of football?
I do think there's something in it, but I think people are that enraged by VAR football fans that it's definitely not going to go under the radar.
I sent a question out on the artist formerly known as Twitter yesterday, saying it was just directed at Leicester, Leeds and Southampton fans, how they feel about the match experience now they're back in the EFL and there's no VAR. And pretty much 100% the response, and I got lots of responses, mostly from Leicester fans in fairness, but all saying the same thing: don't miss it one bit. Don't miss it one bit. A few goals going in just before half-time. Burton 0, Wigan 1 in League One. Charlie Hughes for Wigan. Charlton equalised late on in the first half against Exeter 1-1. Corey Taylor. Woking lead FC Halifax Town by a goal to 0. Tunji Akinola. And we're back underway here at Kenilworth Road for the second half of this Premier League game. Luton 0, Burnley 1. No changes at the restart, so running through the lineups in a minute. Burnley in their claret and blue shirts, blue shorts and claret socks are heading towards the Oak Road end, where their very happy supporters are situated to our right hand side. Luton in their orange shirts and socks with the black shorts, kicking from right to left as we look in our gantry in the bobber stand, heading for the Kenilworth end. And straight away, Zeki Amdouni's just clipped by Marvellous Nakamba, giving Burnley a free kick in the centre of the Luton half. And Josh Brownhill standing over it. Amdouni's really been in the wars for Burnley tonight, limping around the edge of the area. And Brownhill will stand over this free kick, hands on hips, looking for an option. Burton holding their line at the edge of the penalty area. It's fairly central, this free kick. It's taken short to Koleosho, just to Josh Brownhill's left. Gets the ball onto his right, tries a shot, it's blocked back into his path. He's still got it around the left-hand side of the area, tried to drive in a shot, but it was saved in the end by Thomas Kaminski. He bowls it out to Reece Burke, who came on as a first-half substitute for the injured Amari Bell. Chidozie Ogbene for Luton finds Carlton Morris, but then the ball's cleared downfield, and Lyle Foster, whose goal separates the sides, gives chase, gets the better of Lockyer, but across comes Ted and Mengi. So quickly the lineups: Kaminski in goal for Luton, Mengi, Lockyer and Burke in a back three, Kabore and Panzu, Nakamba, Doughty in midfield, Brown and Ogbene behind Morris. For Burnley, Trafford the keeper, Roberts, Al-Dakil, Bayer and Taylor in the back four, Berger and Cullen holding, Koleosho, Brownhill and Amdouni behind Foster. And here is Josh Brownhill, right hand side of the area, firing it in at the near post, and palmed behind by Kaminski for an early corner in the second half of Burnley, their fifth of the game, and they lead 1-0.
Burnley seem to have started this half the way that they left the first half, and obviously shooting towards their fans as well. They've started really rapidly in this second half.
So it's Burnley's corner right in front of their supporters, where the Oak Road end meets the bobber stand, and it's sent in by Brownhill to the right hand corner of the box and floated by Taylor. Neatly floated ball to the far post, but nobody in the claret shirt gambled, and it's out of play for a Luton goal kick. Real Madrid have turned it around in the Champions League at the Stadio Diego Maradona. Napoli 1, Real Madrid 2. Vinicius with an equaliser. And guess who's got the second?
Jude Bellingham.
It is.
There we go.
What a boy. Not even 21 and already bossing it in the Champions League. I am slightly biased. Luton coming forward down the right-hand side. Jacob Brown trying to roll Charlie Taylor and get to the byline and pull a cross in. But behind by Charlie Taylor for a corner, is it? Yes, it is. Luton's first corner of the game, and it comes 3 minutes into the second half. Burnley 1-0 up here on Talksport 2.
Early goal in this half. An equaliser for Luton would be perfect, wouldn't it? You can hear the fans, what they think. They're trying to get behind their side.
Well, they had their moments, Luton, in the first 45 minutes. But they hadn't won a corner until now. So Alfie Doughty carefully spotting the ball down where the Kenilworth end meets the David Prieston main stand. Left-footed in swinger from Doughty. Oh, God, the head's Morris! Heads over the bar. Got a good connection on it too, Carlton Morris, but got slightly underneath it. And it's over the bar. Trafford was flying to his right. But it's a goal kick in the end to the Clarets, who still lead 1-0.
He does well initially, Carlton Morris, to get away from Connor Roberts. He starts at the back post and just slips round to the front, and he almost gets too good of a connection on it, really, but positive signs from Luton.
And the ball breaks for Luton in the centre circle. Nakamba, though he loses out to Brownhill. Now Sander Berger plays the ball in space to the right-hand side for Luca Coglioscio. Coglioscio running at Burke, gets to the byline. Great run from Coglioscio, pulls it back, looking for a teammate. Josh Cullen's onto it, across the 6-yard line, headed clear for Luton by Lockyer, but then Ogbene loses out, and then Brown goes in strongly. Remember, he's on a yellow card, but away come Luton on the counter-attack. Carlton Morris chops inside his man, gets to 25 yards out, chops again onto his right, out to Kabori on the right wing, cross to the far post, up goes Brown, heads over the bar. Goal kick it'll be to Burnley. And Jacob Brown, I think, is a lucky boy because he's on a yellow card. Courtney Sweet-McKirk, and he went flying into a challenge which started that counter-attack. He was on the end of the counter-attack, but I don't know whether it was a poor challenge that launched that attack.
Yeah, I think it was, but it doesn't look like it's going to be checked. But it's a really good counter-attack from Luton. They throw the bodies forward really well. Carlton Morris chops and changes a couple of times and finds the right-hand side, but again, just can't quite get that finishing touch on it, Luton.
Morris now trying to cushion a header down the right-hand side for Brown, but Trafford will clear, only as far as Morris. Finds Brown again on the right-hand side, looking to roll Taylor. Brilliantly done by Jacob Brown into the box. Ogbene tried to flick it goalwards at the near post, but he got too little on it. Kept in play, is it on this near side? No, it's a Burnley throw. Right idea, I guess, from Chidozie Ogbene. The ball was slightly behind him, so he tried to improvise a flick with the inside of his right boot, but he didn't get enough on it. Out of play for a Burnley throw. They still lead Burnley by a goal to 0 on Talksport 2.
Don't think there's anything else Ogbene could have done there. As you say, Dan, the ball was slightly behind him. Doughty wasn't going to get to it, and Carlton Morris was, lower in the pitch because he'd already started to play with the header. So ideally, you want someone on the penalty spot there backing it up, but no one was there.
Here's Marvellous Nakamba for Luton. Morris trying to muscle his way past Brownhill. Does well, finds Rodocampanto at the edge of the area, trying to turn it into the path of Jacob Brown. Half cleared by Burnley, then hoofed into the Bedfordshire night sky by Connor Roberts. Lands on halfway, Lockyer gets there first. And then Lyle Foster shows good strength for Burnley, running along the halfway line. Plays the ball into the feet of Brownhill. Was he wrestled to the ground by Lockyer? No, says the referee. Luton play on. Up it goes to halfway, and Amdouni lays it off to Sander Berger, drifting out to the right-hand side. Whips the ball to the far side of the field, picked up by Charlie Taylor. Taylor tries to recycle it back into the box. Oh, it's a poor clearance for Luton. Comes back to Brownhill. Out to the left-hand side, and Charlie Taylor. First time crosses, volleyed clear this time for Luton by Lockyer. Comes back to Jordan Bayer. Now Taylor with a back heel, trying to set Amdouni away down the Burnley left. But Issa Kabore gets there first. Oh, his clearance hits Amdouni, who's now got it level with the edge of the area. Burnley have it again then. Josh Cullen plays the ball in field to Sander Berger. Tall, rangy midfielder for Burnley. Works it back to the halfway line. Al-Dakil and then Roberts out to the near side. And Luca Coglioscio, who darts in field, having his shirt pulled by Reece Burke, but the referee allows play to continue. Cullen rolls it to Berger, right-hand corner of the box. Early crosses over the bar, and that'll be a goal kick to Luton Town. 8 minutes gone in the second half on Talksport 2. Luton Town 0, Burnley 1. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk.
I don't know if Vincent Kompany has had a word with Koleosho at half-time, because this is the player that I saw against Forest a couple of times now. He gets the ball down, he's trying to beat players, he's fast, he's got good technical ability on the ball as well, and he's causing problems, more problems already in this second half than he did in the whole of the first half.
Morris with a flick on, and Jacob Brown sends the ball out to the Luton left, and Alfie Doughty running towards the edge of the area. Doughty tries to fire across him, blocked out of play for a throw by the left boot of Connor Roberts. Southampton lead at Stoke in the 8 p.m. kickoff in the Championship of the Bet365. Stuart Armstrong gets the goal. Been Adam Armstrong's been getting all the goals for Southampton this season, but the Scot has put the Saints in front. And of course they won at the weekend for their first win in 5. Southampton against Leeds United. You heard that on the Talksport app. And plenty more coming this weekend. We're back here actually Saturday lunchtime on Talksport as part of game day. Spurs are the visitors to Kenilworth Road, and Reshbin Chowdhury will be your host for that game, which is a 12:30 kickoff. Whilst on Talksport 2, our 3 o'clock Premier League offering, myself and Perry Groves will be up at Old Trafford. Manchester United against Brentford. That's our live game for you at 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. Ball nodded down into the centre circle by Cullen for Brownhill. Burnley coming forward again, slips Anduni through. Left-hand side of the box, it's a weak cross intended for Foster, and the offside flag's gone up anyway. So it gives a chance for Luton to clear their lines. Just a reminder as well, we've got more Championship football tomorrow night with Leicester against Preston. Leicester might need to go back to the top of the table if Ipswich hold on to the 1-0 lead they've got against Hull City. Myself and Adrian Clark will bring you commentary tomorrow night from the Championship. Friday in the Championship, it's a Midlands derby. Birmingham against West Brom. 8 o'clock kickoff, and my colleague Courtney Sweetman-Kirk will be at the home of football, St Andrews, alongside Joe Shannon. And Sunderland Middlesbrough is our Championship offering the same time as Luton Spurs here as part of game day. So the Weir Tees derby, Saturday lunchtime at the Stadium of Light. That'll be a cracking game too, with Middlesbrough having picked up some form lately. Ball hooked out of play for Burnley by Connor Roberts for a Burnley throw. 10 minutes gone in the second half in this exclusive national radio commentary from the Premier League. Luton 0, Burnley 1. Lyle Foster right on half-time with the only goal of the game. But a throw going to come into the Burnley box here from Alfie Doughty. Pretty much level with the Burnley penalty area. In it comes from Doughty, looking for the flick on, gets it from Reece Burke, drops around the penalty spot, headed away by Brownhill, further cleared by Amdouni, but it drops for Ted Mengi, who manages to find Alfie Doughty, but by the time he'd found him with the pass, the ball was over the touchline just beneath us. Burnley have a throw and they lead by a goal to 0, the Clarets.
Not sure that's what Mengi meant. I think he gets the touch completely wrong. Doughty trying to save his blushes, and he's probably not had his best game, Mengi, and I think that is the weak link for Luton, and Koleosho this second half is starting to realise that.
Left Manchester United in August, Ted Mengi. Only ever made 2 appearances for the Red Devils. He was at Birmingham on loan last year, England Youth International, and it's his first Premier League start tonight, Ted Mengi. Lockyer, one of the other Luton centre-halves, and the Hatters captain on the halfway line. Luton get robbed of possession. Burnley have it back. Sander Berger looking to release Koleosho on the Burnley right once again. Brings the ball under control, level with the edge of the area, has Reece Burke back pedalling, lays it off to Connor Roberts. Roberts back for Koleosho at the right-hand corner of the area, at the Oak Road Inn. Tries to turn away from Burke, but can't get away from Ogbene, who is back doing his defensive duties for Luton Town, and he's won a free kick, Ogbene, for a pull of the shirt. 1-0 to the Clarets.
Yeah, he does really well, Ogbene, under pressure there, and we've seen what he gives going forward, but also chipping in there with his defensive duties. But for me, Luton look frantic in this second half. They need to settle it down, try and find that pattern, the play into Carlton Morris, play off him, because we know he holds the ball up so well or flicks it on, but they're just struggling to find an orange shirt. And don't know if you heard that there, but Carlton Morris is definitely voicing his frustration, let's put it that way.
They do have options on the bench in terms of attacking talent, and I think Elijah Adebayo is going to be on sooner rather than later, presumably to partner Carlton Morris. They have played together before. They played a lot in the Championship last year as a duo. And Adebayo just getting ready down beneath the pit. Here come Burnley. Koleosho again making tracks down the right-hand side. Pulled down by Reece Burke just outside the penalty area. Going to be a yellow card for the Luton substitute. And Burnley have a free kick down the right-hand side of the Luton penalty area. And they lead Luton by 1-0 here.
Koleosho there, we see what he's all about. Using his pace, using his ability. He does well with his body shape as well. He's nowhere near as big as Reece Burke, but he's getting his body across and make sure that you either got to let me go, or if not, you're going to bring me down and I'm going to win something for my team, and that's what he did.
So this free kick for Burnley about 6 or 7 yards from the dead ball line, down the right-hand side of the Luton penalty area. And the referee Peter Banks just putting down the old shaving foam on the pitch, and Reece Burke is a one-man wall protecting the near post of Thomas Kaminski. Koleosho and Brownhill standing over the free kick, either a left or right-footed delivery to come for the Clarets, leading by a goal to nil as we approach the hour mark. Waiting for the referee's whistle. There it goes. Koleosho actually rolls it back to Roberts at the edge of the area. A few players go down inside the box. It comes to nothing. Back to Connor Roberts, 30 yards out. Floated back out to Koleosho on the right wing. On the underlap is Brownhill. Whips it across the face of goal and headed away by Peli Roda-Kampanzu right on the goal line. But Burnley still have it. Out to the left-hand side. Charlie Taylor finds Amdouni. And Zeki Amdouni spots Connor Roberts in space by the centre circle. He lofts it down the left-hand side of the box, looking for Amdouni. Might come his way. It's actually come off the defender. Jacob Brown back helping out. And it's a corner kick to Burnley at the Oak Road end, and they lead 1-0. And there's a few nervous touches at the back for Luton players.
Yeah, there is. It's getting more and more frantic as this time ticks on, and you can't help but feel that Burnley are in the ascendancy there. They're going to be the team that scores next, and I think if it goes 2-0, then for me, I think it's effectively game over.
So Josh Brownhill going over to that corner where the main stand meets the Oak Road Inn, right on the far side of the field from our vantage point on this gantry. In it comes from Brownhill, poor corner, volleyed clear at the near post by Reece Burke. You're listening to Luton 0, Burnley 1 on Talksport 2 with Now. Don't forget that with Now you can stream the Premier League live without a contract from £11.99. Search Now Sports, 18 plus, streamed via the internet. Terms apply. 61 minutes played on Talksport 2, and here comes the change, and it is indeed Elijah Adebayo who's going to come on. And the player coming off is Issa Kabore. That's the number that's being shown up, although Bene's moving to the bench. But yeah, it's quite a gamble here from Rob Edwards. Courtney Sweetman Kirk, he's taken off the right wing back and putting on a supplementary striker to play alongside Carlton Morris.
Yeah, especially with Jacob Brown as well on a yellow card. You thought he potentially might bring him off, but Rob Edwards is taking a risk and obviously trying to get Luton back into this game by being more attacking.
So Elijah Adebayo scored 7 goals last season, yet to score in the Premier League. Former Walsall striker will now be alongside Carlton Morris. And if Carlton Morris is the big man, Elijah Adebayo is the huge man. He's got to be 6'6". And he will try and latch onto high ball sent downfield, you can assume, but he's got decent touch, Adebayo. I saw that when he came on as a substitute here against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Here at the back for Burnley is Al-Dakhil, back for James Trafford. And Adebayo, who's twice the size of James Trafford, closed him down, forced him to bring it out for a throw. That's what he's there to do.
Exactly, and you'll see him when he gets on the ball as well. He's got great technical ability, he's got a few skills in the back pocket, so Be good when he gets on the ball to see them as well.
Chidozie Obeni's won a corner. He's now playing in Kabore's old position, Chidozie Obeni, as the right-hand side of that midfield four. So it's Brown, Adebayo and Morris in the front three. And it's a corner kick at the Kenilworth end to Luton Town, their second corner of the game. Alfie Doughty only just now is getting the ball to that quadrant where the Kenilworth end meets the main stand. Another left-footed in-swinger to come then from the Luton left wing-back. There's a few Luton players clustered around the penalty spot. They break, as in it comes. Looking for Lockyer to get their head to it. Drops on the volley for an attempted goal-bound effort from Mengi, but a swing and a miss from him. Sent back into the box by Ruddock. Headed back across goal. Brilliant clearance off the line by Cullen. Fantastic clearance off the line by Josh Cullen. I think it was Jacob Brown that thought he was about to equalise for Luton Town, but his goal-bound header was cleared right off the goal line with the goalkeeper beaten by Josh Cullen.
Yeah, it's a great ball in from the left by Mpanzu, and Jacob Brown does everything right, but wonderful defending there on the line.
Luton have their tails up though, but there's still a goal down on Talksport 2. Here is Cullen, who's just provided that terrific headed clearance. Down goes Foster, no foul. Pelly Ruddock and Mpanzu for Luton Town. Works it to Adebayo, left-hand corner of the box. Just crosses to the far post, but he goes behind both Brown and Morris. 2 bounces, and it's behind for a goal kick to Burnley. And the Luton fans are already wise to the fact that they think James Trafford is taking far too much time to get the ball back into play with these goal kicks. And I think they're trying to let Peter Banks know that they're onto him.
Yeah, they are. They'll want this game to hurry up. They'll want the momentum that they've garnered not to stop.
Trafford's goal kick downfield is almost won ahead of Lockyer by Sander Berger. If he'd won that, Burnley could have been in behind all of a sudden, but it's whacked forward for Carlton Morris to try and get the flick on. Good strong header though by Jordan Bayer for Burnley, and then Roberts tries to float it down the right hand side for Koleosho, but goes out of play on the full for a throw in to Burnley. Did it take a touch off a Luton leg? It did, because it's been actually been given as a Burnley throw on this near side. Rob Edwards directing operations down beneath us, 40 years of age. You think he was the youngest manager out there, but then Vincent Kompany's only 37. Won 18 of his 40 games in charge of Luton, Rob Edwards. Also won promotion with Forest Green last year. And now a bit of time wasting from Burnley. Sees a yellow card issued to Connor Roberts for taking too long to get the ball back into play from the throw-in.
I think that was coming. Yes, Burnley are trying to manage the game. They're trying to take the momentum away from Luton in this spell, but the referee's wise to it.
But they do get the ball back into play in the end. Lyle Foster for the Clarets, whose goal still separates the sides. Works it back to Connor Roberts. Now Sander Berger, good strength down the right-hand side of the area. Just steps away from Burke. Gets to the byline, decides not to cross. Turns back inside. Finds Josh Cullen. Works the ball in field to Connor Roberts. Roberts tried to play a reverse ball. Didn't come off for him. And away it comes Adebayo. But then he's fouled. And then he fouls his man, and Burnley get a quick free kick taken by Cullen. Amdouni plays a 1-2 on the near side of the right. Andrew plays again with Josh Cullen. Up to the edge of the area, Brownhill can't get the shot away. Jacob Brown with a vital interception, and he's leading a counter-attack. Morris to his right, Adebayo to his left. Here's Carlton Morris picking it up. Right-hand corner of the area for Luton. Chops in onto his left. Can he get the shot away? Goes down. No penalty, says the referee. Peter Banks says no to Carlton Morris's claims. We play on. Burnley have it back. I'm assuming that the VAR will take a look. Attention Michael Salisbury. Attention Adrian Holmes.
It's the last thing they wanted tonight, isn't it?
Oh yes. Midway through the second half, Luton win it back. Ogbene fouled his man in doing so. Free kick. The locals are getting restless. But I wonder whether VAR is going to take a look at when Carlton Morris went down in the box trying to get away from Jordan Bayer.
Tell you what, Dan.
I've just seen a replay there, Courtney. What do you make of it?
I thought on first look it was, and looking at it again now, it is. For me, he goes through Carlton Morris to get the ball. He does get a touch on the ball, but he goes through the right foot of Carlton Morris first, and I'll be very surprised if this isn't looked at.
Meanwhile, Luton have made a change, and they've taken off Jacob Brown, who was on that yellow card, and Tahith Chong, signed in the summer from Birmingham City, former Manchester United Academy graduate, has come on, and check complete. If there was a check, we didn't see anything on the Jumbotron screen to our right to indicate that that challenge was being looked at, and we play on, no penalty. 1-0 it remains to Burnley on Talksport 2.
Well, I said earlier how VAR baffles me, and I think I'm still on that, because, as I say, I think Bayer very clearly goes through Carlton Morris to get a touch on the ball, but not to be for Luton.
No, 1-0 it stays to Burnley. Adebayo chests the ball down for Morris. Early ball out to Doughty. Left-hand side, approaching the edge of the area, trying to go on the outside of Connor Roberts. Whips it across the face of goal, turned over his own crossbar by Bayer for another Luton corner. Belief starts to grow around Kenilworth Road that Luton can get themselves level here.
Yeah, they're knocking on the door, aren't they? And Bayer does well there. Could have gone anywhere, though. Luckily for him, he sees it fly over the crossbar.
So Doughty with the corner kick down beneath our commentary position at the Kenilworth end, a left-footed outswinger to come from him. Players again massed around the penalty spot. They break as in it comes. Up go the heads. Oh, flashing header wide. Big chance for Luton. Carlton Morris got such power behind the header, but it was a good yard or so wide of James Trafford's right-hand post, and Morris thumps the turf in frustration. 1-0 to Burnley.
Yeah, he's massively frustrated with himself, and I can see why. He's all by himself, no defenders around him, and that's the one you want to fall to Carlton Morris. That's the one you put your house on him scoring.
Goals elsewhere. Notts County 3, Swindon 1. Tyrese Shade gets one back for Swindon. Bolton 2, Stevenage 1 at that big game in League 1. Jack Iredale. Middlesbrough lead Cardiff. Isaiah Jones at the Riverside, and Derby lead at Blackpool through Corey Smith in League 1. Luton 1-0 down here with 20 minutes to go on Talksport 2. But here's Chidozie Ogbene down the right-hand side of the box, feeds it into Chong. Chong onto his left foot, tries to drive it across goal. It's blocked by Bayer. Chong has it again, nods it back to Ogbene. Right-hand corner of the box, faced up by Amdouni. Lovely drop of the shoulder into the near post. Bayer's there again to clear away in front of Carlton Morris. But Luton are trying to keep the pressure on here.
Yeah, they are, and it's best play of the game by them so far, sustained pressure.
Doughty gets to the byline left-hand side, pulls the ball back, but that's a more comfortable claim this time for James Trafford. Morris was flying in behind him, but it was always favourite for James Trafford to clutch hold of that ball in the Burnley goal. 71 minutes gone on Talksport 2. It is Luton 0, Burnley 1.
So much better from Luton. They're expansive, they're aggressive in their defending and going forward, and Doughty, especially down this left-hand side, is getting good quality balls in the box. They've just got to be more clinical, Luton.
Luton have it again, right-hand side with Chidozie Ogbene. Box of tricks on that right-hand side for the Hatters. Chong is there in support. Rolls it back into the centre of the half for Marvellous Nakamba. Now it's picked up by Burke. Gives it back to Nakamba. Faced up by Brownhill. Poor ball from Nakamba straight to Amdouni, who then nutmegs Nakamba, but gives it away in doing so to Reece Burke. Now Pelly Ruddock driving through midfield, up to the edge of the area, feeds Adebayo, trying to wriggle himself clear into space for a shot. Couldn't do so. Too many Burnley players around him. But the Hatters have it back. Chong finds Ogbene, tries an early cross, claims for handball, nothing doing. Ogbene again sends the ball into the box. Morris with his back to goal, turns, shoots, blocked, and out comes Trafford and pounces on top of the loose ball. 18 minutes to go. Luton still working, and Morris beckons the Kenilworth end to get behind the Hatters. There's a Burnley player down, and so Trafford's rolled the ball out of play so that the Burnley player can receive treatment.
They're not happy with that, are they? But Foster, he did go down earlier in the play. It's cramp.
Yeah.
But he managed to get back up, defending, and this will stop the momentum now. And I think this is why the Luton fans are disappointed.
Well, of course, now he's being treated. He will have to wait once he's on the touchline 30 seconds before he's allowed back on to the pitch. Meanwhile, both sets of players are coming to this near touchline to take on some water and also take on some instructions, and Aaron Ramsey and Jay Rodriguez are being readied by Vincent Kompany as a double change. Presumably Rodriguez is going to come on for Foster, who's just getting to his feet. And of course that's quite clever, because that negates the need for the 30-second wait if that beckons a substitution, as I assume that's what's about to happen. So here come the changes for Burnley, who lead by a goal to nil. And Aaron Ramsey is the first player on. Jakob Brun Larsen is coming on for Luca Koleosho. And Aaron Ramsey comes on for Amdouni. So the front three have all been switched around there for Burnley. So Ramsey, Rodriguez and Brun Larsen are on, Foster, Koleosho and Amdouni off. Just over a quarter of an hour to go. Portsmouth equalise against Wickham. I mentioned that they were 21 unbeaten going into tonight's game. Top of League One, and Colby Bishop's equalised for Pompey at Fratton Park. And Barnsley 3-0 up at Cambridge elsewhere in League One. Max Watters, once of Cardiff City, with the third for Barnsley. Eastleigh 3, Ebbsfleet 1 in the National League. And Tranmere 1, Bradford 1. Andy Cook has equalised for Bradford. Oxford United 2, Shrewsbury 0 in League One. And Sutton 0, Salford 1. Sutton no win in 7. Salford got their first win in 9 last time out. Back at Kenilworth Road here with Ian Dancer and Courtney Sweetman Kirk. It's a quarter of an hour to go, plus whatever Peter Banks wants to add on for stoppages. Still Burnley lead by a goal to nil, but Carlton Morris has just forced Jordan Bayer to put the ball out into touch for a throw-in. And Luton have the ball at the back. Plymouth 0, Millwall 1 in the Championship. Zion Fleming for Millwall. Just 1 win in 5 for Gary Rowett's men. And a foul on halfway. Jordan Bayer again, the man in the wars for Burnley, but he's won the free kick for the Clarets. Chesterfield 1, Bromley 0, so the leaders of the National League ahead against 4th place Bromley, Joe Quigley. Dagenham and Redbridge leading York by a goal to nil at the Chigwell Construction Stadium. Bit of a risky pass from James Trafford out of his own defensive third. Adebayo gets onto the loose ball for Burnley, but the ball's bouncing around and won't sit down for him. Allows Burnley to volley it clear. Lockyer scrapping for possession on halfway. They got the better of Lyle Foster in the end. As it goes to the right hand side, Chidozie Obeni showed too much of that to Charlie Taylor, who managed to get something on it, but now Carlton Morris gets away down the Luton right into the area. Got Bayer backpedaling, who puts a foot in. Good touch from Jordan Bayer, but it is another Luton corner at the Kenilworth end. 1-0 Burnley.
I wasn't sure if that stopping play would halt Luton's momentum, but they've started as just as they mean to go on. They've got the fans behind them. Ogbene now playing conductor to the crowd.
Alpi Doughty's spotted the ball down again on that corner quadrant where the main stand meets the Kenilworth end on the far side of the field from us. Left-footed in-swinger to come from the Luton left wing back. Into the near post. Headed across the face of Lockyer. Almost got a touch, but it deflected away from goal. Picked up by Ogbene. Rodican Panzu in a bit of space down the left-hand side of the area. Good ball in. Headed behind by Jordan Bayer, with Adebayo right behind him. Brilliant defending. In fact, it was Sander Berger who got the touch, forgive me. But it's another Burnley Luton corner. 1-0 Burnley.
This is where Luton have got to score. They're putting all the pressure on Burnley, but they need to make it count.
So Doughty again with the in-swinging corner for the Hatters. Encouragement behind that goal. In it comes Adebayo, heads it goalwards and it's drifted wide, and Trafford let it go wide, knowing He didn't want to get a touch, and so it goes out for a goal kick. It's currently Luton 0, Burnley 1, and for the latest odds, head to William Hill, the official betting partner of Talksport 2's Premier League coverage, where right now you can back Luton to win at 18-1, back the draw 7-2, or you back Burnley to hold on and win at 4-1 on. That's all thanks to William Hill. Get epic value all season with William Hill. 18 plus, begambleaware.org. Morecambe 1, Accrington Stanley 0 in League 2. James Connolly for the Shrimps. 12 minutes to go on Talksport 2. Luton really have got up ahead of steam in these last few minutes, but they're still a goal down.
Yeah, and if they don't get anything out of this game, they'll feel sick with themselves, because, to say, the aggression they've showed in this second half has been fantastic.
Here's Tahi Chong bursting forward for Luton into the area, tries to get the shot away, but again there's loads back for Burnley, and it's gone out of play in the end for a Luton throw right by the corner flag on the far side, and Chong will leave it for Ogbene. Takes it quickly, marvellous Nakamba and a bit of space, midway point of the Burnley half. Flick round the corner from Pelly Rudder-Campanzo for Morris. Goes down, great challenge for Burnley to get it away by Aaron Ramsey, and then they win a free kick for a foul on Josh Brownhill. I tell you what, Aaron Ramsey had to make that challenge, otherwise there could have been a penalty pending for Luton Town. But as it is, there's another change happening down beneath us, and Jay Rodriguez is now finally coming on for the man whose goal still separates the sides, the South African Lyle Foster, who's now got his third Premier League goal of the season. Will that be the winning goal come the end of the night?
I don't know, I still feel like there's a goal in this somewhere, whether it's Luton with all their pressure forward or the fact that they might get caught on the counter. I don't think it'll end 1-0, but if it does, Lyle Foster, it was a wonderful finish, times his run to perfection, and as I say, calm, composed when it mattered.
Jay Rodriguez just gets one last bit of instruction from Vincent Kompany, help round up the locals before he actually runs onto the pitch.
I mean, it says 80 minutes, doesn't it, on the scoreboard? I think we could be here until at least 100 the way it's going.
It'll be very interesting to see what Jared Gillett holds up when it comes to minimum stoppage time. Northampton 2, Reading 1 in League 1. Dominic Ballard gets a goal back for Reading. Charlton 2, Exeter 1. They've come from behind Charlton. Alfie May, their summer signing from Cheltenham, has scored. And of course, Cheltenham themselves still haven't scored at all this season. 1-0 down at home to Fleetwood at the bottom of League 1 tonight. 1-0 to the away side here as well, and Burnley are coming forward for the first time in a little while in this second period. Down the left-hand side of the area with Josh Brownhill. Work back to Josh Cullen. Up to the edge of the area. That's neatly done from Burnley, but an important foot in by Ted Mengi right at the vital moment. Wins the ball back for the Hatters, and here comes Chidozie Ogbene up to the halfway line. Tried to thread it through Charlie Taylor's legs for Tahi Chong. Goes out for a throw. PSV 0, Sevilla 1 in Arsenal's Champions League group. Adria Pedrosa. That's been ruled out. VAR's got in the way of that one, so Sevilla do not lead. Sutton 0, Salford 2, Kelly and Mai for Salford, and Doncaster 2-0 up on Crawley. Former Cambridge striker Joe Ironside with the second for Donny from the penalty spot. That's a good result for Doncaster, because Crawley 5 straight wins in all competitions. Now Luton trying to win the ball high up the pitch, but very calmly played by Al Dakil out of defence. But Lockyer steps in on halfway, looks for Elijah Adebayo, holds it up really well ahead of Connor Roberts. Pelly Rudder-Campanzo plays the square ball out to the right-hand side, and Chidozie Ogbene. Ipswich 3, Hull 0. Ipswich going top of the Championship tonight, as the ball's fired in by Ogbene straight into the arms of James Trafford. So with Ipswich 3 up, over to Leicester City tomorrow night, live on Talksport 2. I'll be with Adrian Clark at the King Power. Leicester against Preston. That's our offering, whilst Leipzig against Manchester City is the Talksport commentary in the Champions League tomorrow night. Of course, we start at 6 p.m. with Adrian Durham starting all the build-up right here on Talksport 2. Trafford for Burnley, the goalkeeper, sends the ball up to halfway, but Pelly Rudder-Campanzo heads it back into opposition territory. Elijah Adebayo trying to roll Al Dakil down the left-hand side of the box. Plays it back to Reece Burke. Rolled in field for Nakamba. Ball to his right for Ted and Mengi by the centre circle. Now here's Ogbene again. Held up and sent back to the halfway line. Tahith Chong on the right wing now for Luton rather. Cuts in field, diagonal ball into the box. Reece Burke knocks it down. Adebayo turns, shoots, scores! His first Premier League goal! Elijah Adebayo gets Luton level with 7 minutes to play, and Kenilworth Road erupts as once again, as they did against Wolves last time out here in the Premier League, Luton have come from behind to get a share of the game, and this time for either side to win it. It's Luton 1, Burnley 1.
I'm just watching Rob Edwards here, and he's now playing conductor. He's going absolutely mad. He's trying to get the fans behind the team, but that is no less than Luton deserve, by the way. It's a good bit of play from Chong. It's a good ball, and it's Burke, isn't it, that does so well to compete for the ball. And then Adebayo is just a quick touch and then spins and shoots. Really good opportunity, and as I say, Luton really deserve that for all the pressure that they've put on.
6 minutes to go, all square on Talksport 2. Now Larson for Burnley coming forward. Great try! Oh, what a goal! Oh, what a goal by Jakob Brun-Larsen! Only just on the field as a substitute. And Luton were level for a matter of seconds before Jakob Brun-Larsen unleashed a left-footed shot from 25 yards out that fairly tore into the corner of the net past Kaminski, and Burnley are back in front at Kenilworth Road. Just over 5 to go. Luton 1, Burnley 2. What a goal!
Wow, you always say about football, you're most vulnerable when you've just scored, and that's what happens to Luton there. They've just switched off, but take nothing away from this finish. Watching it back, it just gets better and better. Couple of nice touches on the ball, manipulates the ball, drops the shoulder like he's going to go to the byline, cuts back in, then curls it absolutely beautifully with his left foot into that top left-hand corner. And Luton, it's just such a shame for them.
Well, you can hear a pin drop now in the Kenilworth Road end. Luton 1, Burnley 2. The man on loan from Hoffenheim now has his first Premier League goal. He did score in the win at Salford in the EFL Cup, Jakob Brun-Larsen, but that was a superb effort from the former Borussia Dortmund youth player. And Rob Edwards has a look of disbelief on his face. He's just seen his Luton side work so hard to get back into the game. No sooner had they done that than Vincent Kompany's Burnley go down the other end and smack themselves back in front.
It's just that concentration, and as you say, Dan, that's what they've worked so hard, Luton, to get back in this game, and it's undone with 30 seconds from the kickoff, and then, probably 5 seconds of switching off, not getting in the right shape defending, not getting your body across the forward. But as I say, you can't take anything away from that finish because it was wonderful.
Courtney Sweetman-Kirk alongside me, Ian Danta at Kenilworth Road. 4 minutes of normal time to play. Can Luton come back a second time? But time is running out. Blackpool 0, Derby 2. James Collins with another for Derby. Ronnie Edwards has put Peterborough ahead at Carlisle in League One. Here is Elijah Adebayo, who brought Luton level momentarily. He's won a corner off Sander Berger at the Kenilworth end. Luton's 6th corner of the game. Can they make this one count? 2-1 Burnley.
We've seen Luton be good from set pieces. There have been good deliveries from Doughty. And more than ever now, they need someone to step up and draw them level again.
So, 3 minutes to go. Doughty will take this corner kick. A left-footed outswinger at the Kenilworth end. Chong makes a run to the near post. The ball goes far, headed up by Morris. Can the camper keep it in play? He can. Tight to the dead ball line. Rolls it to the right-hand corner of the box for Chidozie Ogbene. Back in field it goes for Peli Roda-Kampansu. Clip ball out to Doughty. Chests the ball down left-hand corner of the area, but he's forced to go back to Chong. Chong has got Sander Berger for company. Now Doughty loses out. Ball goes out of play, and Burnley will have a throw. Loads of goals going in elsewhere. FC Copenhagen 1, Bayern Munich 0 in the Champions League in Manchester United's group. Manchester United 1-1 with Galatasaray. Blackpool 1, Derby 2. Kenneth Dougal gets a goal back for Blackpool. Napoli 2, Real Madrid 2. Piotr Zielinski for Napoli. Cheltenham down to 10 men. Curtis Davis sent off. They're 1-0 down at home to Fleetwood and no closer to finding that first goal of the season. Burton 1, Wigan 1. Morecambe 1, Accrington Stanley 1. Tommy Lee equalises for Stanley. And Birmingham 3-0 up on Huddersfield. Sikiri Dembele with his second of the night. Back it goes to Ted and Mengi. Into the last 2 minutes of normal time, plus whatever Peter Banks is going to add on for stoppages, and they should be plentiful, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk.
Yeah, there could be a good few, so the Luton fans will be happy about that. They're not leaving, they're sticking around, wanting their team to get an equaliser.
Alfie Doughty desperately trying to keep the ball in play at the corner flag, can't quite do so. There was a lot of pace on that ball, it was asking a lot of him, and it goes out of play, and it will be a throw-in to Burnley in the right-back position. And Al Dakil and Carlton Morris just getting involved in a bit of afters. Bit unnecessary from the pair of them. Morris was just trying to send the ball back to where the throw should be taken from. I don't really know what the Burnley players are complaining about. And Al Dakil just throws a threatening glance in Carlton Morris's direction. Lots of luck with that.
But say, I don't think I'd be messing with Carlton Morris. He's a braver person than I am.
Solihull Moors 2, Rochdale 0. Solihull, the only unbeaten side in the National League, have a second at the Armco through Josh Kelly. And the ball might break here for Charlie Taylor of Burnley to get ahead of Chidozie Ogbene. Plays the ball over halfway. Aaron Ramsey on as a substitute for Burnley, scampering down the left-hand side, gets away from Ogbene, but then the ball's hit against him by Ted Mengi. That was good defending by Ted Mengi, actually, and out of play it goes for a goal kick. We're about to find out from the fourth official, Jared Gillett, how many minimum minutes of stoppage time. Bolton 3, Stevenage 2. Josh Sheehan puts Bolton back in front up there in the northwest. But here in Bedfordshire, as we tick round, the 90 minutes are up and we are into 7 minutes of minimum added time, with Burnley 2-1 up against Luton on Talksport 2.
There's still time, but they've got to get the ball forward, Luton. They've got to try and be composed, but Burnley, trust me now, they'll do everything they can to try and slow this down.
Well, here's Aaron Ramsey looking for the man whose goal set Kenilworth Road alight, but here's Jay Rodriguez going for a third goal, smacks it wide. He suddenly picked it up 30 yards out, drove forward a couple of yards and let fly with his right. It was a good 2 or 3 yards the wrong side for him of Kaminsky's right-hand post. Goal kick to Luton. Burnley still 2-1 up. Sent downfield by Kaminsky. Looking for the flick on by Morris. He finds Adebayo. And there was a foul by Morris on Josh Cullen as he won that header. Pleads his case with the referee, Peter Banks, but nothing doing. It'll be a free kick to Burnley, who lead 2-1. We've played a minute of the minimum 7 that Amid added on here, and it's going to be a yellow card for Carlton Morris as well for that challenge, or maybe that's just the totting up procedure. Oh, it is an arm across Josh Cullen. We're just seeing a replay, aren't we, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk?
Yeah, he leads with his arm. I don't think there's any malice in it. He's trying to use it to elevate himself, but he does come across Cullen there.
So the free kick smacked downfield by Charlie Taylor. Burke heads it half clear for Luton. Roberts tries to help it on for the visitors. A little drop for East Burke, who just lets the ball go over his head, knowing it's going to go out of play for a Luton Town throw. There are 1 or 2 heading for the exits at Kenilworth Road, but plenty sticking around to see if Luton can mount a second comeback. There's enough time for another goal in this game for either side. 92 minutes gone. 2-1 Burnley are in front. Inter lead Benfica by a goal to nil in the Champions League, and Grimsby 2-0 upon Barrow in League 2. Donovan Wilson with the second for the Mariners. Luton throw, and Marvellous Nakamba's just been booked for a bit too much back chat to the referee and gets a yellow card for dissent. I don't know what his beef was, but got a yellow card all the same. And now there's going to be a change for Burnley. And Hannes Delqua is going to come on. And the player going off.
That Ramsey?
Is Aaron Ramsey, who's only just come on. Now, he doesn't look injured to me, so what that's about, heaven only knows. But Ramsey, having been on the pitch for 10 minutes, 15 maybe tops,
he'll want the ground to swallow him up now.
Didn't look injured to me, but Delcroix is on. Maybe just to bolster the defensive lines. Anyway, in comes a throw from Luton into the box, bounces over Morris's head. Trafford comes off his goal line and clutches hold of the ball gratefully, and will just fall on the ball for a few seconds, and will eventually get the ball downfield. 3 minutes of the minimum 7 have gone in stoppage time. James Trafford using the whole of the 18-yard box before he finally fires the ball downfield straight onto the head of Luton's Tom Lockyer. Tahith Chong for the home side on halfway, loses out. Josh Brownhill brings the ball clear for Burnley down the left-hand side, heading for the corner flag, goes down under pressure from Mengi, no foul, and then a foul by Brownhill as Mengi tried to bring the ball clear, and a yellow card for holding the ball and preventing the free kick being taken for Charlie Taylor. Cheltenham 0, Fleetwood 2. Jack Marriott with the second for Fleetwood. Cheltenham down to 10 men. Still no win, still no goal. Darryl Clark, the man who's taken over at the completely Suzuki Stadium, and it looks like he's got one hell of a job on. Charlton 3, Exeter 1. 1-0 down, and now 3-1 up the Addicks. Miles Leeburn, son of Carl Leeburn, has got the third for Charlton at the Valley. And Altrincham 2, Aldershot 1 in the National League. You're up to date on Talksport 2. Ian Dancer and Courtney Sweetman-Kirk here. Cricket Collective coming up at 10 o'clock tonight with a Cricket World Cup just around the corner. Steve Harmison and Neil Manthorpe with all the latest cricketing news for you, whilst over on Talksport it will be the Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. 03717 223344. Burnley fans, prepare to ring up and salute your team's first 3 points if things stay as they are. Lockyer has to let the ball bounce inside his own half, the Luton captain. Keeps the ball away from J. Rodriguez. Mengi will find Pelly Campanzo, has to guide it back to his keeper. 5 minutes of stoppage time have gone. Flicked on by Carlton Morris for Luton. They're looking desperately for a second equaliser. Anywhere will do for Charlie Taylor, and whacks it onto the roof of the main stand opposite us. Throw in taken quickly. There's 2 balls on the pitch. You're going to have to get rid of that ball that's just bounced back into play as Tahith Chong brings the ball down the right hand side. Burke tries to get the cross in. It's blocked out of play by Charlie Taylor for a throw. Halifax equalise at Woking in the National League 1-1. Cambridge 0, Barnsley 4. In comes the cross from Luton. It's headed away by the Burnley rearguard. And Panzu now for Luton. Looks for Ted and Mengi just ahead of the centre circle in the Burnley half. The last minute of minimum added time. 2-1 to Burnley. Can they hang on? Chong works the ball back to the halfway line. Diagonal ball finds Adebayo. All the ball bounced off his toe and went away. Anywhere will do for Josh Cullen. Bayern Munich equalise at Copenhagen. Jamal Musiala. And Sevilla are ahead at PSV. Long ball downfield, a Hail Mary for Luton, trying to get something on that as the ball's cleared right next to our commentary position.
I was ready to head that, Dance.
I saw you move quicker than I did. Doughty with the ball into the box, headed up and out. It's a corner kick. It came off the defender Al Dakil. Corner kick right at the end for Luton. One last chance to get a point. Manchester United back in front against Galatasaray. Rasmus Højlund with his second of the night for United in the Champions League. Luton's corner. Doughty takes it. Up goes Lockyer, tries to knock it down. It came off a Luton head, did it? No, goal kick, says the referee. The 7 minutes are up. That is very close to being that. Burnley can taste the 3 points.
And I think Lockyer thought that it took another touch. He initially got to it. He's trying to say it came off the back of a Burnley head, but I think that's about it. I said earlier, didn't I, Dance? I didn't think it'd end 1-0, but I didn't think the goals would come the way they did.
The goal kick sent downfield by Trafford. Still we play on. Ball headed back by Mengi. Looks like he's got a touch of cramp, having headed that ball into the Burnley half. Middlesbrough 2-0 up on Cardiff. Emmanuel Latela with the second for Borough. Chesterfield 2-0 up on Bromley in the National League. And the full-time whistle goes at Kenilworth Road. And finally, Vincent Kompany and Burnley have their first 3-point haul of the season. It comes at Luton Town, their fellow promoted side. And it was late drama after a first half where Lyle Foster, the South African, scored his third Premier League goal of the season right on half-time to put Burnley ahead. Luton scrapped and snarled and fought their way through the second half, eventually got themselves level late on through Elijah Adebayo's first ever Premier League goal for 1-1 from Reece Burke's knockdown. But almost instantly down the other end, it was a Burnley substitute, Jakob Brun-Larsen, on loan from Hoffenheim, who smacked home a beauty with his left foot from the edge of the area to put Burnley back in front almost as soon as they'd been pegged back, and they held on, and it's 3 points to the Clarets for the first time this season, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk.
Yeah, it's a massive 3 points for them, but, you know, Luton will be so disappointed. As you say, they scrapped and worked so hard to get themselves into the game, and look, every loss hurts, but to lose like that, to get yourself back into the game and then to switch off just 30 seconds, a minute later, they'll be absolutely devastated. But for me, the difference between Luton and Burnley today was a little bit of quality. The quality with the goal from Brun-Larsen, and the same just at the end of the first half with the ball through from Sanderberg, and the good finish from Lyle Foster, calm and composed. And that was just that little bit of difference tonight that got Burnley over the edge.
Well, you can still hear the applause around us from the Kenilworth end as the Luton players applaud back for the efforts that the fans put in to encourage their team forward. Rob Edwards rolled the dice, he made changes, he brought on Adebayo, he took off a defender, he brought on Chong, and Rob Edwards would have thought that he'd shuffled his pack successfully. But Vincent Kompany has other ideas, and just as the 3 points that Luton got on Saturday at Everton would have done wonders for the morale around this club, even though they've lost tonight, I'm sure the 3 points that Burton are saluting to their supporters away to our right will do them no end of good as they look forward to Chelsea at home next in the Premier League at the weekend.
I mean, normally you'd look at that game and think it's, you know, it's a massive mountain to climb, and I know Chelsea have won recently, but the way they've been playing lately, and as you say, the confidence that they've gained today, I think Burnley will go into that game obviously a lot more confident than they would do in previous years.